Soon, some cultivators found more spirit herbs blasted out. They were at least level 6. The cultivators here were sent into a frenzy. Soon, some cultivators found more spirit herbs blasted out. They were at least level 6. The cultivators here were sent into a frenzy. All the cultivators realized now that what was important weren't the spirit herbs in someone else's hands, but to go inside and look for more. All the cultivators rushed in. But moments later, howls of pain sounded. Those cultivators came back out, and those cultivators who didn't make it in time were killed by space wind blades or sucked away by void fissures. Yi Emo was shook. He knew these weren't naturally formed. This was a space attack formation. After the formation was broken, the wind blades ravaged everywhere. Once these attacks disappeared, he would go in again. Yi Emo was shook that he came here before, but didn't know why space attack formation appeared. Those cultivators knew there were a lot of good things here, but ordinary cultivators couldn't take on space wind blades. After they came out, they didn't dare to go back in again, and just scavenged for spirit herbs outside. Yi Emo didn't know if the sealed ancient being had been released. He knew that if the being came out, there was nothing even he could do. At this moment, there were 2 more flying lights landing outside. Yi Emo saw they were 2 flying magic artifacts. The left one was a middle-grade flying cultivation artifact. 2 women got off the left one. Yi Emo knew one of them. It was that Hai Tong, but there was an extremely pretty woman next to her. She was on par with Hai Tong, but her body was more perfect than her face. He was sure this woman's body was the second most perfect he had seen. The first was Qing Ru he had seen in the Ice God Forbidden Grounds. Even though Qing Ru was lifeless at that time, he had to admit she was the most perfect woman he had seen. This woman with Hai Tong, her looks were far cry from Qing Ru. Her looks dragged her whole aesthetics down, but the beauty of her body was disjointed from the beauty of her face. Her face was still very pretty, however. Yi Emo noticed this woman because she showed her power to be Hollow Spirit State Peak Stage, but her actual power was Cauldron Filling State Level 8. She wasn't old, and yet she had reached Cauldron Filling State Level 8 at such an age. Yi Emo sighed. Even the North Far State was full of crouching tigers and hidden dragons. He looked right. 1 man and woman got off. The female cultivator was very young, but the male cultivator was a bit older. He also knew 1 person from those 2. He knew that young female cultivator. Her name was Zhou Yushuang. He knew her because when he came to the hexagonal hall, there were 4 golden core state cultivators there. Luo Yuping wanted to kill the 3, but Zhou Yushuang used a level 8 space transmission rune to get away. He was sure that Zhou Yushuang wouldn't know him as he left after she did. What shook him was the man next to her. He was Cauldron Filling State Peak Stage, but hid his power to Hollow Spirit State Level 6. Yi Emo saw 3 Cauldron Filling State cultivators now, and they all hid their power. Only he didn't hide his power. He was Cauldron Filling State Level 7, and he showed his power to be Cauldron Filling State Level 7. Hai Tong saw Yi Emo and Su Jingguan immediately and quickly came over and bowed. "Thank you, Brother Yi, for your forgiveness and persuasion. Hai Tong understands now. I apologize for my extreme rudeness before. Please forgive me." Yi Emo looked at her in surprise. She could wake up after what he casually said. In his eyes, she was beyond help. He was more scorning her than teaching her. Since she already said this, Yi Emo wasn't going to put on a stern face and tell her to piss off. He nodded and didn't say anything. To be honest, he really didn't want Ryu to be with this woman, who knew if she was only changing for the moment and would go back to who she was after a while. "Hai Tong, is this your friend? Why don't you introduce him?" The woman with Hai Tong smiled and came over too. Yi Emo studied this woman and finally realized why she seemed disjointed. She was wearing a top-grade stealth magic artifact. This meant this woman not only hid her power but also hid her looks. Hai Tong quickly said, "Sister Shaoi, this is the brother Yi Emo, I told you I was going to apologize to. Brother Yi, this is Sister Xiao Yi. I met her on the way. She was very nice, so she brought me here. Yi Mo shook his head. This Hai Tong was white like paper. She didn't hide anything she was going to do. No wonder she did all those crazy things. No wonder she didn't have a real friend after all those years. Brother Yi, Sister Yi, Xiao Yi said politely. Yi Mo nodded. He had an extreme sense of discomfort with this Xiao Yi. He couldn't tell the feeling, but three-birth chant was usually never wrong. He felt this Xiao Yi was no more than 30 years old, but Yi Mo felt her eyes were older than Meng Henan. This was very strange. Seeing that Yi Mo didn't introduce Su Jingwen, Xiao Yi smiled and didn't mind. The rumbling in the all-herb mountain range stopped, and those space wind blades and void fissures disappeared. The cultivators slowly wanted to go back in and see again. Hai Tong suddenly looked at Yi Mo. Brother Yi, do you want to go in and have a look? Yi Mo looked at her then, Xiao Yi, and suddenly said, Hai Tong, if you trust me, go back to your sect. It's not suitable for you here, at least not now. Hai Tong blushed. She felt she came to apologize, but Yi Mo wasn't being very polite. But instantly, she felt she shouldn't think like that. She came to apologize. If she cared about that, she would be the same as before. Thinking about this, Hai Tong sighed and said with red eyes, Thank you, Brother Yi. Perhaps it's really not suitable for me outside. I'm going back. Take care, Brother Yi. Then she said to Xiao Yi, Sister Xiao Wai, I'm going. If you have time, you can come play at Dual Heart Valley. Xiao Yi quickly said, Don't be in a rush to go. There might be a lot of good things here. Hai Tong shook her head and took out a top-grade flying spirit artifact, and then left. Seeing this, Xiao Yi forced a smile and said, Hai Tong is very naive. I can protect her here. Yi Mo sneered. Naive was a nice way of saying it. The mean way of saying it was that she was an idiot. But you're not simple. Su Jingwen pulled Yi Mo's hand and said, Yi Mo, would your words be a bit? Yi Mo smiled. No. Then the cultivators made another ruckus. Yi Mo scanned with spirit sense and found that the space formation door was gone. A long stairway appeared before them. Yi Mo was too familiar with it. It was here when he followed Zhou Yushuang and them. The stealth formation was gone. The space formation door was gone. There were just purely stairs. All the cultivators ran onto the stairs. The stealth formation was gone. The space formation door was gone. There were just purely stairs. All the cultivators ran onto the stairs. Yi Mo saw the cauldron-filling state level 9 also went in. When Yi Mo wanted to bring Su Jingwen in as well, he heard Zhou Yushuang tell the cauldron-filling state peak stage cultivator, Master, it's this place. The stealth formation was gone last time, and we didn't find the space formation door, but now this place blasted out for some reason. She was only nascent soul state level 3, so Yi Mo heard everything she said. The master agreed and said after a while, Let's go down too. Yi Mo suddenly realized it was no wonder she had a level 8 space transmission rune when she was golden core state. She had a powerful master. Seeing them two go down, Yi Mo brought Su Jingwen down as well. At this moment, Xiao Yi came and asked softly, Brother Yi, can I go with you too? Yi Mo looked at her and nodded. Of course, anyone can go down here. Xiao Yi nodded obediently and carefully followed behind Yi Mo. Yi Mo sneered and protected Su Jingwen. This woman hid her face and power. Regardless of what she wanted, it made Yi Mo feel vigilant. Going down to the bottom of the stairs, there was still the same door. It was wide open now, and many cultivators had gone in. Yi Mo and Su Jingwen walked to the door, but found Zhou Yushuang, and her master didn't go in. They were watching on the side. Yi Mo took Su Jingwen in without hesitation. Zhou Yushuang was probably scared they couldn't come out. Her master didn't go in for some other reason. No matter what, Yi Mo wouldn't care. This seal was open All formations were destroyed. There was no way that people wouldn't be able to get out. Yemo went inside the hall and saw 4 bodies. They were the 4 cultivators looking for Feizi-jiang. It seemed they died as well. Their storage rings were all taken by the cultivators who came in first. Yemo looked away and wanted to find if the explosion was related to this place, and why there were suddenly so many spirit herbs and ores. However, he felt something was wrong. Even if the 4 couldn't get out, they wouldn't die. He had seen that spirit body. He sounded like he was very powerful, but Yemo knew if the people in the hall ignored him, there was nothing he could do to the cultivators in the hall. Then, how did the 4 nascent soul state cultivators die? Yemo looked at the 4 cultivators again and found in shock that their positions were very eerie, happening to form a 4 abyss blood devouring formation. This was a demonic formation that used cultivators' essence blood as a lead and extreme grade spirit herb as supplements. The only purpose of the formation was to use the cultivator's essence blood and spirit herbs to build a body. Usually, only essence spirits or souls would use such formation. It had a similar effect to a mortal curl flower, but way weaker. The body made with a mortal curl flower was much stronger. Yemo looked at this and thought of the soul in the hall. He used these 4 nascent soul state cultivators to set up the formation and then built his body before leaving here. But then Yemo shook his head. The seal here hadn't been touched. Even if he could set up the formation, he wouldn't be able to leave here. Yemo looked around and didn't see any abnormalities, meaning that the spirit herbs didn't come from here. The 4 nascent soul state cultivators were really idiots. A soul that couldn't come out tricked them into setting up this demonic formation. Yemo was speechless. There were more and more people here. Yemo knew that without his 9-forked key, these people wouldn't be able to open the seal, but there was no way he was taking the key out. Thinking about this, Yemo subconsciously looked at the key ring. It had turned dark red, and he was dazed again. He could clearly tell the dark red color was due to blood. The people started to complain, seeing there was nothing they could take away. Yemo turned around and looked at the positions of the nascent soul state bodies again, and he began to sweat. He saw wrong. This wasn't a 4 abyss devouring blood formation. It was 4 elements break position formation. It was similar to the previous one, and was the blood sacrifice formation Luo Yuping had set up. Clearly, this wasn't to build a body, but to break the seal. Thinking that the terrifying guy here might have already unlocked the seal and left, Yemo felt shivers down his spine. If this guy found him, he would be dead. If that soul really left here, it might be due to him helping him. He loosened the seal with the key, and thus the break position formation was useful. "What are you thinking?" Su Jingwen shook Yemo's arms and asked. Just when he wanted to reply, he heard a loud explosion. A hollow spirit state was attacking the ring. The other cultivators all attacked it too. Yemo didn't know if the ring still had defensive capabilities after the seal was broken, but then there was a loud explosion, and the key ring was completely shattered. A dark abyssal door appeared before everyone. The cultivators were dazed and immediately rejoiced. They thought they had broken into the secret vault. A few nascent soul state cultivators charged in, but instantly they flew back out. When they came out, they were filled with thousands of holes. Those cultivators who wanted to go in all stopped in their steps, but the attacks didn't stop because of that. Countless wind blades and sword chi flew out, covering the entire hexagonal hall. Yemo immediately released his octagonal cauldron to protect him and Su Jingwen. Countless cultivators were torn apart by the wind blades, and sword chi screams filled the hall. Some lucky cultivators charged out of the hall, but some unlucky ones were annihilated. Fortunately, this didn't last long, and 8 minutes later, they all disappeared. The hall wasn't full anymore. There were just about 30 to 40 cultivators left. Most of them were injured. In that short time, 200 or so cultivators had been killed. Those weaker nascent soul state cultivators immediately charged out of the hall upon seeing that the wind blades and sword chi had disappeared. Even some hollow spirit state primary stage cultivators left. The ruin was good, but they needed to be alive to enjoy it. Yemo looked at the cultivators still inside the hall. Most were hollow spirit state middle stage or tertiary stage. The cauldron filling state level 9 just used an ordinary defense magic artifact, and Zhou Yushuang's master only used a simple barrier. Xiao used a leaf-like magic artifact. Yemo looked at the cultivators still inside the hall. Most were hollow spirit state middle stage or tertiary stage. The cauldron filling state level 9 just used an ordinary defense magic artifact, and Zhou Yushuang's master only used a simple barrier. Xiao used a leaf-like magic artifact. These wind blades posed no threat to cauldron filling state cultivators at all. Yi Mo scanned his spirit sense into the dark door, but found he could only scan about 10 meters into it. There must be a spirit sense barrier formation there. Yi Mo was sure that the soul had long left the seal. Yi Mo was worried about that guy, but he knew that, at least for a short, while he wouldn't be looking for trouble with him, the first thing he would be doing after getting free was finding a body to possess or rebuilding a body. Who wants to team up with me? That hollow spirit state middle stage scanned the tunnel and asked. As soon as he said that, another 3 hollow spirit state cultivators came out, and the 4 formed a group. Then they released their magic artifacts and went into the tunnel. The people outside scanned their spirit sense in and saw more space wind blades, and Sorchi arose, but it didn't cause them much damage. Soon, they disappeared from everyone's spirit sense, but there was no sound as well. With them succeeding, the rest of the hollow spirit state cultivators all formed groups. Yi Mo saw that cauldron filling state level 9 also found a group and went in. Zhou Yushuang's master looked for a team with Zhou Yushuang, but no one wanted to group up with them. He only showed hollow spirit state middle stage power, and he brought along a useless Zhou Yushuang. As for Yi Mo, no one dared to make a team with him. Everyone knew he was the strongest here. He was body condensation state. Who dared to team up with him? Zhou Yushuang's master couldn't be bothered finding a team, so he just took Zhou Yushuang in. This made some hollow spirit state primary stage, and even nascent soul state tertiary stage cultivators keen to try. If Zhou Yushuang, a nascent soul state primary stage cultivator, and a hollow spirit state cultivator could go in, they could too. But soon, they found they were wrong. 4 nascent soul state tertiary stage cultivators formed a group, and they only walked less than 10 meters before they were torn apart. Brother Yi, can I form a group with you? Xiao Yi asked shyly. Yi Mo smiled. I would, but I won't be able to protect you. I need to protect my wife. Xiao Yi quickly said, I don't need you to protect me. I'm hollow spirit state peak stage. I can pass this myself. Yi Mo frowned. If you can pass yourself, then why do you want to team up with me? Xiao Yi smiled awkwardly. That's true. I thought the same as them. It seems I really don't need a group. I'll go first then, Brother Yi. Then Xiao Yi walked into that dark tunnel. Yi Mo, I feel that something is wrong with that woman, but I can't tell exactly, Su Jingwen said. Yi Mo sound transmissioned. Jingwen, you're right. She's very powerful. She's already cauldron filling state level 8. She's using a stealth cultivation method and is wearing a mask too. I don't know what she wants to do. Almost all the cultivators had left in the hall. Yi Mo also took Su Jingwen to go into that tunnel too. The space wind blades and sword chi shot onto the octagonal cauldron and didn't affect them at all. Soon, they walked into an even bigger hall. There was nothing inside, but at the very end, there was a gray barrier. Spirit sense couldn't scan inside. The people who came in before didn't move and just looked at it. There were 13 hollow spirit state cultivators here, and the cauldron filling state cultivators as well as Yi Mo and Su Jingwen. The only person who didn't hide his power was Yi Mo. He showed cauldron filling state level 7, but only those 3 cauldron filling state could see his power level. One hollow spirit state, tertiary stage, saluted with his fist to Yi Mo Qianbei. There's a gray barrier here. It's probably a defense formation. We can open it now if there are good things inside. Qianbei can get 50%, and we'll split up the remaining half. Would Qianbei be happy with that? Yi Mo finally realized why the hollow spirit state cultivators who came in before didn't do anything. They were worried about him. Yi Mo liked cultivators who knew their place, so he nodded. That's perfect. I'll take half. It's not something I can care about if you guys can split the remaining half evenly. Hearing this, the cauldron filling state level 9, and Zhou Yushuang's master smirked. Only Xiao Yi looked the same as before. Zhou Yushuang looked at Yi Mo and shook her head. She considered Yi Mo dead already. She knew that whatever her master wanted, no one could take away. This young person might be body condensation state, but 50% was too much for him to handle. Her master didn't tell her Yi Mo's power. The hollow spirit state tertiary stage heard this and immediately looked happy. Wan Bei is very happy with Qianbei's words. We'll split everything else based on our power. I believe no one will be unhappy. Let's attack. The hollow spirit state tertiary stage waved out his magic artifact. With a rumble, his mountain seal struck the gray barrier and made it wobble. Seeing this, everyone else took out their magic artifacts and attacked the barrier, causing ripples to form on it. Yi Mo didn't do anything. Since everyone treated him as the number 1 master, he needed to act like one. The most powerful Qianbei here didn't need to do such small things. With so many cultivators attacking, the barrier only lasted 8 minutes before cracking and disappearing. Once it disappeared, 7 golden balls appeared. When Yi Mo scanned his spirit sense inside, he took a cold breath in. What seal was this? How were there such good things? The first orb had 3 extreme grade cultivation artifacts, 3 heaven grade level 7 cultivation methods. The second orb had 2 extreme grade cultivation artifacts, 1 heaven grade level 8 cultivation method, and 1 armor. The third orb had a pill bottle with the words Truth Carrot Pill, as well as a heaven grade level 9 cultivation method. As for the fourth orb, an orange flame floated above the cauldron, which was obviously an extreme grade cultivation artifact. The flame was Truth May Flame. It was ranked 8th amongst the heaven flames. The fifth orb was only a cultivation method, but when he saw it, even Yi Mo sighed. It was an immortal grade level 1 cultivation method. The sixth orb was a low-grade defense immortal artifact worm scale shield. The seventh orb only had 3 crystals, but when Yi Mo saw them, his eyes almost popped out. They had a spirit attribute circulating through them. They were more precious than extreme grade spirit stones. He had never seen them, but he guessed they were either extreme grade crystals or low-grade immortal crystals. Even Yi Mo couldn't control himself, much less the other people here. One hollow spirit state primary stage forgot he was the weakest here and charged up to the first orb, wanting to grab it. Before he touched it, a huge power flicked him back, causing him to crash into the wall. He spat mouthfuls of blood. Then he remembered that he might not even be able to touch a part of these things. No one cared about this hollow spirit state, who was flicked away by the light orb. Everyone just stared inside the 7 transparent yellow light orbs. If they just got one of the light orbs, it would be a huge fortune. Even truth realization state cultivators would drool over such things. No one cared about this hollow spirit state, who was flicked away by the light orb. Everyone just stared inside the 7 transparent yellow light orbs. If they just got one of the light orbs, it would be a huge fortune. Even truth realization state cultivators would drool over such things. Hearing the heavy panting, Yi Mo knew that bloodshed was to follow. That hollow spirit state tertiary stage woke up and said, "Friends, we have a Qianbei here." We'll let him choose any of the first three, and then choose half from the fourth. Then we can split the rest. Does everyone agree? No one replied. Clearly no one agreed to this. Yimo's power was high, but he was at most a body condensation state cultivator. There were more than 10 hollow spirit state cultivators here. If they joined up, he might not be a match for them. The main thing was that the things inside the orbs were too shocking. Who would be willing to give it away? Almost all the cultivators left Yi-Mo now and looked at him warily. They stood together in case Yi-Mo tried to kill them one by one. Yi-Mo smiled and didn't move at all. The 3 cauldron-filling state also showed frenzied eyes. They didn't move either. They'd seen all too much. Why would they move before someone else? 3 cauldron-filling state, tertiary stage, and 13 hollow spirit state cultivators. Yi-Mo really wasn't afraid of them attacking him altogether. He was just scared that if he didn't take care of Su Jingwen, it wouldn't be good. Ha ha ha, a coarse voice sounded. I'll take 5 of the 7 orbs. That voice said this, and was about to grab the orbs. Everyone saw it was a hollow spirit state tertiary stage cultivator. A few hollow spirit state cultivators wanted to get near him and stop him, but that hollow spirit state tertiary stage didn't even use his magic artifact and just used a few hand signs, and those cultivators were stopped. Soon, those hollow spirit state cultivators were thrown away onto the rock wall. However, their necks were twisted, and they had stopped breathing. The cultivators saw this, and all took a cold breath in. They all realized that this hollow spirit state tertiary stage definitely hid his power. Clearly, he was body condensation state or cauldron filling state to be able to kill these few hollow spirit state cultivators so easily. Everyone looked at Yi-Mo as he was the strongest here. But now, there was another cultivator hiding his power. Clearly, the fight would happen between these 2 first. Those excited hollow spirit state cultivators all calmed down. The things here were good, but it was questionable if they were going to be able to take them. There were 2 cultivators above body condensation state here. Yi-Mo saw that Xiao Yi and Zhou Yushuang's master didn't move either. Clearly, they could tell this cultivator was hiding his power too. This hollow spirit state tertiary stage stopped hiding his power and soon showed he was cauldron-filling state level 9. No matter what, he was going to get all these powerful treasures. Other than Yi-Mo, who had a calm look, Zhou Yushuang's master, and Xiao Yi all showed surprise and seriousness. They didn't expect someone was hiding their power like him. That cauldron-filling state level 9 walked up to Yi-Mo and saluted with his fists. Friend, your cauldron-filling state level 7. That's cauldron-filling state tertiary stage. There are 7 orbs here. I'll only take 5, and you can have 2. How is that? Yi-Mo sneered. A mere cauldron-filling state level 9. He could kill him easily, and yet he asked shamelessly for 5 orbs. However, Yi-Mo knew now wasn't the time to divide up the orbs, so he said calmly, if you want the orbs, then go for it. Don't ask me. Hearing this, he looked satisfied. Clearly, to him, Yi-Mo knew he was cauldron-filling state level 9 and backed down. He nodded. Very well. He walked to the 5th orb. Clearly, he wanted that immortal grade, level 1 cultivation method. Yi-Mo saw Zhou Yushuang's master slowly gather up cultivation essence as that cauldron-filling state level 9 walked to the 5th orb. To be honest, this immortal grade level 1 cultivation method had no enticement to Yi-Mo at all. He wanted the 7th orb the most with the 3 crystals. That cauldron-filling state cultivator grabbed the yellow orb, and his cultivation essence clashed with the defense of the orb. The cauldron-filling state level 9 grunted and moved a few steps back. Seeing this, Zhou Yushuang's master stopped his decision to attack. But Yi-Mo ignored the cauldron-filling state cultivator and just looked at the orb in shock. Then he was speechless. When that cauldron-filling state grabbed the orb cracked. Yi-Mo's spirit sense could transform, and his spirit sense reached inside the crack instantly and saw that cultivation method was just an illusion. Mo looked from the first to the last orb and saw that only the 3 crystals were real. The rest seemed fake. So powerful. The cauldron-filling state took a few steps back and looked at these orbs. Then he looked at Mo, clearly wanting to join forces with Mo to attack these orbs. Mo laughed. Let me see. Mo walked to the first orb and grabbed it. No one knew. He just wanted to reach his spirit sense inside the orb. He didn't really want to grab what was inside. There was a thud. It was just a light sound, and he wasn't flicked away by the orb. Soon, everyone realized that Mo's cultivation essence was weaker than the first cultivator, so the sound was much quieter. His spirit sense reached inside and saw the 3 extreme grade cultivation artifacts. They were fake 3 heaven grade level 7 cultivation methods. Fake. Mo frowned and walked to the second orb, grabbing it like before. He found they were all fake. Seeing Mo touch all the orbs, no one knew what he was doing. The cauldron-filling state level 9 frowned and saluted with his fists. Friend, this won't work. The orbs won't open. I think we should attack together. If we can open them, I'm willing to give you an extra orb. How about it? Mo shook his head. Although they were just all hollow spirit state cultivators on the side, the cauldron-filling state level 9's words were taboo. He thought they were nothing and wanted everything for himself. Mo looked at the cauldron-filling state cultivator and said, I'll try again. If it doesn't work, then we'll see. Then, as Mo grabbed onto the last orb, there was a thud. Mo's spirit sense reached inside, and instantly, Mo was shook to find that those crystals were all real. They were definitely not spirit crystals. His spirit sense felt an extreme sense of comfort just scanning them. Mo suppressed his joy and walked to the side, saluting his fist to the cauldron-filling state level 9. I tested and found these few balls are very sturdy. Only the last one I feel I have some hope of taking, so I'll just take the last orb. I feel I won't be able to open the other orbs. Really, the cauldron-filling state reached for the last orb too, but he was flicked away like before. He frowned and said coldly, Didn't you say the last one is easier? 1265 tearing the orb. 1265 tearing the orb. Mo said calmly, I have an extremely powerful truth explosion orb. If I use my full power, I might be able to break one. The 3 spirit crystals are good. I'll have them. Truth explosion orb, the cauldron-filling state level 9 repeated in shock. This was a one-time use magic artifact that truth realization state cultivators could create. If Mo used truth explosion orb against him, he might be seriously injured if he was caught off guard. He thought Mo would be no match for him, but if Mo had a truth explosion orb, it would be completely different. This cauldron-filling state level 9's face changed, and after a while he sighed. I didn't expect you to have such a powerful one-time use magic artifact. I have no objections to you using one to open an orb, but the rest of the orbs… Mo waved his hand. I won't have any of them. I promise, I just want the 7th one. Plus, after I open it, I won't have the ability to open any more. Okay, then, I have no objections, go open it. But the truth explosion orb might destroy the contents of the orb, the cauldron-filling state answered. Although Mo said he only had one truth explosion orb, who knew how many he really had? He didn't believe Mo would use the only one he had here. If he was in Mo's position, he wouldn't use it to open the orb. He would use it to hurt the strongest person here first. Mo smiled. I only want the 7th orb. If I accidentally break the contents inside, then I won't pursue any other orbs. The cauldron-filling state rejoiced. He was waiting for Mo to say that. Just when he thought Mo was going to open it, Mo turned around and looked at the hollow spirit state cultivators. I only want the 7th orb. Is that fine with everyone? How could the hollow spirit states object? When he looked at Xiao Yi, she smiled. I would love for Brother Yi to have one of the orbs. How can I disagree? Yi Mo smiled. Great. Then Yi Mo asked Zhou Yushuang's master, and the man stared closely at Yi Mo as though wanting to see why Yi Mo asked him. However, Yi Mo's tone was the same to everyone, nothing special. The cauldron-filling state level 9 shook his head. He thought that Yi Mo was a cauldron-filling state level 7. If he wanted an orb, who would dare to object? This was just so extra. But even so, he frowned and didn't object. After all, asking didn't take much time. He wanted Yi Mo to help him open the other orbs after he took something from the 7th orb. He even planned to give Yi Mo something, so Yi Mo would help him. Seeing Yi Mo ask him, Zhou Yushuang's master said calmly, "Even if you take all the orbs, I won't have a problem." Yi Mo's tone suddenly became cold, and he stared coldly at Zhou Yushuang's master. "Just say whether you have a problem or not. If I find someone trying to harm me when I take something from the orb, I will eliminate that threat now." Yi Mo didn't want people disturbing him when he broke open the orb. That's why he asked one by one. He was mainly asking the 2 cauldron-filling state cultivators. If Zhou Yushuang's master acted up, he would attack immediately. He believed that if he was to take on Zhou Yushuang's master, the other 2 cauldron-filling state wouldn't intervene. Plus, even if they did, he wasn't afraid. Hearing Yi Mo's cold words, Zhou Yushuang's master's eyes dilated. He was sure Yi Mo saw through his power. Otherwise, why would he waste time on a hollow spirit state cultivator? Yi Mo's words meant that if he dared to say no now, he would attack immediately. Zhou Yushuang's master was planning to attack Yi Mo when he was opening the 7th orb, but now that Yi Mo asked him, he felt he was seen through. Seeing Yi Mo's eyes grow cold, Zhou Yushuang's masters nodded. "I have no objections, there are 7 orbs here. But Qianbei, you only want one." Yi Mo knew what he meant, and said coldly, "You're right, Qianbei will only take one." He was clearly scorning Zhou Yushuang's master. Zhou Yushuang's master nodded. If it was just Yi Mo here, he would have attacked already. He could tell Yi Mo's sarcasm. Now, Yi Mo just wanted the 7th orb. There were just 3 crystals there. It wasn't the most precious thing. More importantly, his greatest enemy was the cauldron-filling state level 9. If he fought with Yi Mo, that cauldron-filling state level 9 would help Yi Mo for sure. He was cauldron-filling state peak stage, but he wasn't confident to win over a cauldron-filling state level 9 and cauldron-filling state level 7. Plus, this cauldron-filling state level 7 said he had a truth explosion orb. Even he didn't dare to face it head-on. Seeing the main opponents agree, Yi Mo took Su Jingwen to the 7th orb. Although they all agreed, he still had to be wary of the others attacking Su Jingwen as he took the orb. The cauldron-filling state level 9 saw Yi Mo walk to the 7th orb and just stared at Yi Mo. The truth explosion orb's power was huge. If he went over now, it might affect him. As for the rest of the hollow spirit state cultivators here, he already considered them dead. Before he got the orbs, he would kill anyone who dared to leave. Zhou Yushuang's master stared at the cauldron-filling state level 9. He was preparing to ambush him when he opened an orb. As long as he injured him, the rest of the orbs would be his. It didn't matter to him if Yi Mo just took an orb with spirit crystals. Xiao Yi just stared at Yi Mo and Su Jingwen. No one could tell what she was thinking. Yi Mo walked to the 7th orb and didn't take out the truth explosion orb like everyone expected. He instead took out a few formation flags and set up a formation before releasing a kitchen knife magic artifact and hacking at the orb. With a thud, the orb was opened by Zisu, creating a very small opening. Other cultivators thought the opening would slowly close, but instead it didn't. It instead got bigger until it was enough for his hand to reach in. Yi Mo's face was getting more and more pale. No one knew he was using his full power. He made the agreement with the 3 cauldron-filling state cultivators as he was the weakest now. His spirit sense was used to the max. The opening wasn't opened by his cultivation essence but spirit sense. He had tested cultivation essence before. It was useless against such barrier. The more powerful the cultivation essence, the more powerful the concussion. Only spirit sense could open it. If these 3 cauldron-filling state cultivators attacked him now, all he had done would be for nothing, and he would be heavily injured. He was already planning to kill Zhou Yushuang's master when he was hesitating. It wasn't hard for him to kill cauldron-filling state peak stage, but he didn't want to kill for no reason. Luckily, Zhou Yushuang's master agreed, fearing he would collaborate with the cauldron-filling state level 9. The crack grew wider. Zhou Yushuang's master and Xiao Yi were dazed too. They thought Yimo would be opening it with truth explosion, but Yimo could tear it apart instead. The cauldron-filling state level 9's eyes flickered. He was hesitating whether he should ambush Yimo. If it wasn't for the truth explosion orb Yimo talked about, he might really do it. Before he could make up his mind, Yimo grabbed the 3 crystals. Their spirit chi that was comfortable to the extreme almost made him moan. He put the 3 crystals in his golden page world as quickly as he could. When Yimo pulled his hand out, the orb instantly closed. Without hesitation, Yimo ate a spirit recovery pill. The cauldron-filling state level 9 saw this and sneered. He looked at Yimo and asked gloomily, "Why didn't I see you use the truth explosion orb? Did I hear wrong?" He looked at Yimo and asked gloomily, "Why didn't I see you use the truth explosion orb? Did I hear wrong?" Yimo recovered a part of his spirit sense and removed the formation casually. He looked coldly at this cauldron-filling state level 9 and said, "Why would I use it? You're so weird." Yimo was planning to go now that he got what he wanted. If this cauldron-filling state level 9 dared to talk, he would teach him a lesson. The cauldron-filling state level 9 didn't expect this cauldron-filling state level 7 to become so rude after he got what he wanted. He was dazed and asked angrily, "Didn't you say you have a truth explosion orb? Or did I hear, and everyone hear wrong?" If Yimo wasn't cauldron-filling state level 7, he would have attacked already. Yimo said calmly, "Then you're deaf. I just said I had the orb. When did I say I was going to use it? Are you a pig brain? The orb can even kill disaster transformation state cultivators. Would I use it on a few spirit crystals? Would you do it? The cauldron-filling state level 9 spread out his power, and a black magic artifact appeared in his hand. This was a top-grade cultivation artifact, Yin Yang Fan. He clearly didn't like Yimo's attitude and was about to attack. "It seems you toughened up now that you got what you want. Are you going to fight over the other orbs?" The cauldron-filling state level 9 asked with dense killing intent. Yimo sneered and didn't even bring out a magic artifact. He said coldly, "I always live up to my words. I'll only take 1 orb. If you want to fight, then fight. I don't have much patience." The cauldron-filling state level 9 looked at Yimo with uncertainty. Would a cauldron-filling state level 7 be so tough to him if he didn't have something like the truth explosion orb? Zhou Yushuang's master hoped Yimo and the cauldron-filling state level 9 would fight. Then he could ambush them. As long as he killed one, he would be undefeated. However, just when everyone thought they were going to fight, the cauldron-filling state level 9 said calmly, "Since you don't want the rest of the things, we have no conflict. I don't need to fight with you." Seeing this, Yimo was a little surprised too. He was thinking how many strikes it would take to kill this cauldron-filling state level 9, but instead he retreated. Thinking about this, Yimo knew he was probably scared of his truth explosion orb. He wasn't a murderous person. If he was, he would have killed everyone here beforehand, but Yimo didn't do that. He wanted to teach this cocky cauldron-filling state level 9 a lesson, but he backed down. Yimo didn't want to have this pointless fight. Zhou Yushuang's master seemed a little disappointed. "Brother Yi, are you going?" Xiao Yi saw Yimo seemed to want to leave here and seemed unwilling. Yimo knew she was problematic, but no matter what was wrong with her, it had nothing to do with him. Plus, the only real orb was taken by him. So, what was the point of staying here? Emo glanced at her and said calmly, "Yes, I'm someone with self-knowledge. I am very happy with just one orb. As for the rest, you guys can have it. I'll be going off first." Xiao Yi heard this and suddenly called, "Brother Yi, can you go later? If you go, I'll be scared being by myself here." Hearing this, Emo frowned. He really didn't like this woman. Emo said coldly, "If you're scared, then let's go together. Why are you staying here?" Xiao Yi looked at the 6 orbs and said, "If I can get one of the 6 orbs, I would be very satisfied. Sigh, I'd be willing to give my life for something like that." There was a strong sense of seduction in her words. Those hollow spirit state cultivators couldn't even keep their eyes off her, and gulped their saliva. Emo sneered. Su Jingwen was right next to him, and she dared to do this. But no matter what tricks she used, it wouldn't affect him. He had cultivated next to the bitter bamboo, and his Tao heart was very firm. Seeing this seductive Xiao Yi, Su Jingwen was unhappy and leaned closer to Emo and said, "Emo, let's go." Just when Emo wanted to talk, he heard a cold voice say, "No one can leave now. I've sealed this place. No one can come in either." Emo was shaken. After he heard the voice, he looked at this man. Clearly, he was much stronger than him. 2 cultivators came in. One was Hollow Spirit State primary stage with a square face and thin eyes. Emo felt this cultivator was very familiar. The other cultivator was a middle-aged man. His power made Emo's eyes spasm. This middle-aged man was Disaster Transformation State Level 9. Soon, Emo remembered why this square-faced man seemed familiar to him. When Tang Mengrao told him about she said he had a square face and thin eyes. With this Disaster Transformation State Level 9 next to him, it wasn't hard to guess who he was. This middle-aged man was Wang Yusek Shandi, and the young cultivator was Yi. Realizing this, disgust rose up Emo's heart. This guy killed Li Qishan, and he had said he would get revenge for Li Qishan. Now that was here, he couldn't be blamed for what was to come. Shandi had some capability. Yi's Dantian was destroyed by Lin Zhongtian, but he could still find spirit herbs to repair it. Wang Yu's sect was quite rich. He didn't know how the two were related, but Shandi took him so seriously and brought him around. Shandi scanned around, and his pressure swept across the hall. Those few cauldron-filling state cultivators were shaking. Sect leader Shan Qianbei. The cultivators greeted Shandi with respect and carefulness. When he came inside, his eyes never left Su Jingwen and Xiao Yi. He looked at Su Jingwen again and again, making Emo very annoyed. If it weren't for Shandi, he would have already attacked. But Emo knew that although must be killed, he needed to ensure Su Jingwen was safe. Shandi nodded, and then looked at the cauldron-filling state level 9 for a while until he was sweating before looking at Emo, and the woman next to him were the only 2 who didn't salute to him. This made him annoyed. He looked at Emo for a while, but didn't say anything. He then looked at the dead, hollow spirit state cultivators and asked coldly, "Who killed them? Did someone kill innocent people because he thought he was strong? There aren't many high-level cultivators in North Far State already. If they are killed like this, who can be depended on in the next beast tide? Just me?" Then he looked at Emo, clearly thinking he had done it, as Emo didn't greet him when he came in. He thought Emo was a cocky guy. Emo saw this and sneered. How could he not know Shandi wanted trouble with him? However, he wasn't scared at all. Just when Shandi wanted to keep asking, he saw what was inside the 7 crystal balls, and there was extreme disbelief and joy in his eyes. Extreme grade cultivation artifact and heaven grade cultivation method, the truth carrot pill that made him unable to breathe, heaven flame, immortal artifact, extreme grade cultivation artifact and heaven grade cultivation method, the truth carrot pill that made him unable to breathe, heaven flame, immortal artifact, What ruin was this? He started panting heavily. He was sure that all the things in North Far State combined weren't even worth 10% of what was here. Yet he somehow came across something like this. The things here were more and more precious than the next. When he saw the seventh orb, he was dazed. According to this, the seventh orb should be the most precious. Why was it empty? When he subconsciously looked around wanting to ask someone, he saw everyone look at him, immediately knew his outlook wasn't too good. He coughed and acted calm. Why is the seventh orb empty? Sean D. calmed down as he knew that since he had come, everything here belonged to him. No one could take it. No one would dare to take things in front of him in the North Far State. The cauldron-filling state, level 9, immediately got up and pointed at Yi Mo Shan Qian Bei. He took the seventh orb. There were 3 crystals inside. The spirit chi is denser than extreme grade spirit stones. They might even be immortal crystals. The cauldron-filling state cultivator didn't like Yi Mo already and didn't want him to have it easy. He wanted to exaggerate things and make Shandi attack, but when he spoke of immortal crystals, he paused for a moment. No matter how dumb he was, he realized the last orb had immortal crystals. The orbs before had low-grade immortal artifacts. So how could the last orb be worse than the one before? Yet, like all other cultivators, he didn't think of this earlier. After all, immortal crystals couldn't appear in the cultivation realm. 3 immortal crystals might not even be able to buy a corner of a low-grade immortal artifact, but in the cultivation realm, it was different. Immortal crystals were definitely more precious than immortal artifacts. A powerful forgery grandmaster would be able to forge a low-grade immortal artifact with the right materials. But immortal crystals were different, since they would never appear in the spirit chi arid cultivation realm. Immortal crystals were the best pills for cultivators. They had no pill poison, just pure and clean immortal chi. Realizing Yi Mo might have taken immortal crystals, the cultivator's eyes showed extreme regret. Why didn't he think of it? If he did, he would get one if he could. It was just a cauldron-filling state level 7 cultivator. He wouldn't mind fighting over an immortal crystal for him. Plus, it wasn't even certain if he really had the truth explosion orb. Not only this, but Zhou Yushuang's master. And Xiao Yi also realized that the 3 crystals Yi Mo took were immortal crystals. Even if they were low-grade immortal crystals, it was something the cultivation realm didn't have. Their eyes were full of regret. Yi Mo wasn't too sure if these crystals were the legendary immortal crystals, but now that this cauldron-filling state level 9 said this, he was very sure they were low-grade immortal crystals. Hearing this, Shandi looked at Yi Mo again and had eyes that showed he must have them. The 3 crystals you took were immortal crystals. Seeing Yi Mo not have the intention to talk, Shandi asked. Yi Mo said calmly, "I don't know. I didn't look at them." Oh, Shandi was unhappy. A Wan Bei like Yi Mo should have the initiative to take them out and show him, but Yi Mo didn't do anything. Shandi waited a long while, but Yi Mo still had no intentions of showing him. Shandi frowned. It was so obvious what he meant, but this cauldron-filling state still didn't show him. He grunted and said, "Show me those 3 crystals. I'll check if they're really immortal crystals." Yi Mo sneered but said calmly, "No need. No matter if they are immortal crystals, I won't mind." "Insolence!" Shandi yelled. "There are so many people here, and you're the only one who took something. You also killed low-level cultivators. Do you think you can do whatever you want just because you have some extra power?" How could Yi Mo not know Shandi was using an excuse to attack him? But to be honest, he really wasn't scared of Shandi after his recent enlightenment. He could even fight truth realization state beast cultivators. So how could he be scared of a mere disaster transformation state level 9 Shandi? As soon as Shandi said this, Yi Mo laughed. "This is really funny. It's mine. Why should I show you?" Plus, this many cultivators all agreed to me taking the 7th orb. Even they don't mind, but you who came later instead interrogate me. Do you think you can do whatever you want just because your power is high? sending back exactly what Shandi said to him. Shandi was at a loss for words. He stared coldly at Yemo and then scanned the cultivators. He wanted to ask if they really all agreed. But then he stopped. He couldn't ask that. He was about to take the remaining 6 orbs. Was he going to ask the rest of the cultivators too? But at this moment, a crisp voice sounded. Shan Qianbei. He didn't ask me when he took it, maybe because my power is too low. Yi Emma wasn't afraid of Shandi, but this made him very annoyed. He looked at Zhou Yushuang, not expecting her to act against him. He didn't ask her firstly because she was the weakest, and secondly because he already asked her master. Such a sneaky Wan Bei. I want to see how you can act so tough. Shandi was about to attack. But before he could, another voice sounded. Martial brother Shan, why is your temper so big? You sealed the outside off too? It took me so much effort to get in. Hearing this voice, Shandi immediately stopped and said politely, Martial Sister Meng Rao, I heard you were fine and wanted to visit you. I didn't expect something to happen to All Herb Mountain Range, so I came to check it out. Yi Mo's spirit sense already scanned Tang Meng Rao, while all Shandi was thinking about were the immortal crystals. Tang Meng Rao also had a young girl next to her. It was probably her disciple. Did these powerful people all like to roam around with their disciples? Tung Meng Rao saw Yi Mo and looked surprised and joyful. Sect leader Yi, you're here too? Although she was disaster transformation state tertiary stage, she didn't dare to act big in front of Yi Mo at all. She knew Yi Mo's power. This was a guy who could easily kill disaster transformation state primary stage cultivators and fight with truth realization state cultivators. Even she and Ji Ling might not be able to take a few blows in front of that truth realization state level 2, but Yi Mo could, and only spat a little blood. Thus, even Tang Meng Rao wasn't certain she could beat Yi Mo. When she saw Yi Mo, she considered him a cultivator of her level. Just when she wanted to introduce her disciple to Yi Mo, her spirit sense also scanned the 6 orbs and she was dazed. Extreme grade cultivation artifact, truth carrot pill, immortal grade cultivation method, immortal artifact. Tang Meng Rao rubbed her eyes. Am I seeing this right? As soon as she came, Shandi knew he had to split half with Tang Meng Rao, but he didn't mind that much. There were too many good things here. He didn't need all of them. Shandi nodded. Yes, Martial Sister Meng Rao. I was in disbelief when I came here too. What ruin is this? All these things are here, but the immortal crystals of the 7th orb have been taken away. Immortal crystals? Tung, Meng Rao interrupted in shock. Shandi nodded. Yes, it's taken by that cauldron-filling state level 7 cultivator. He not only took it, but also killed a few hollow spirit state cultivators who disrespected him. He pointed at the dead, hollow spirit state cultivators and said, I'm ashamed there are such cultivators in North Far State. I was planning to teach him a lesson. Tang Meng Rao heard this and looked at Yi Mo in shock. She thought Yi Mo wasn't someone who would kill innocent people. She hadn't been with Yi Mo for long, but she knew he wasn't a murderous person. Tang Meng Rao heard this and looked at Yi Mo in shock. She thought Yi Mo wasn't someone who would kill innocent people. She hadn't been with Yi Mo for long, but she knew he wasn't a murderous person. The young girl next to Tang Meng Rao heard this and immediately looked disgusted. She then came up to Shandi and bowed. Yu Chan greets Shan Qianbei. Shandi nodded, but Tang Meng Rao said, Yu Chan, this is Yi Mo, the sect leader you wanted to thank. He saved your master. You should call him Martial Uncle. Greet him. He's Yi Mo. That young girl looked at Yi Mo in shock, but didn't really call Yi Mo Martial Uncle. Tang Meng Rao's face didn't look so good, seeing her disciple was rude. Just when she wanted to speak, Shandi said in surprise, You're Yi Mo, the one who caused my disciple Yi's Dantian to get destroyed. Yi Mo smirked in contempt. This Shandi really knew how to connect the dots. His disciple wanted to annihilate Mou in Pei Hai City, but He blamed him for harming his disciple. This bastard really knew how to bullshit. Shandi took out a fire rune mirror and said coldly, "Even if you're Yi Mo, on Meng Rao's account, I'll let you go for what you did to Yi, but I won't let you go for killing innocents. Release your magic artifact." Yi Mo sneered. "Which one of your dog eyes saw me kill someone? If you want to fight, then fight. Stop pretending and finding an excuse." Then Yi Mo took out Zisu. Seeing this, Tang Mengrao quickly stopped Shandi. "Martial brother Shan, let's clear things up first. Perhaps those few hollow spirit state offended Yi Mo first." Tang Mengrao knew that Shandi was disaster transformation state level 9, but he really might not be able to beat Yi Mo. Yi Mo killed a disaster transformation state middle stage cultivator when he wasn't cauldron filling state tertiary stage before, and now he was cauldron filling state tertiary stage. Even truth realization states domains were useless against him. Seeing this, Shandi frowned. "Martial sister Mengrao, you want to help this murderous cultivator?" Tang Mengrao saw Yi Mo's face full of killing intent and sighed. Even if she did stop Shandi, Yi Mo would still fight him as he had come today. However, Zhou Yushuang suddenly said, "Yi Mo didn't kill those hollow spirit state cultivators. It was this person." Then Zhou Yushuang pointed at the pale-looking cauldron filling state level 9. Instantly, everyone looked at him. Shandi only needed to look around at the eyes of the cultivators to know she was right. Shandi looked back annoyedly at this cauldron filling state level 9. He didn't really want to help those dead cultivators get justice. He just wanted to find an excuse to kill Yi Mo and take his storage ring. Seeing this, the cauldron filling state level 9 explained with a pale face, "Shan Qianbei, those few hollow spirit state cultivators ambushed me. That's why I killed them. So that's it." Shandi frowned and said, "Don't kill people so easily if it's not a big deal. North Far State is weakened already." The cauldron filling state level 9 quickly nodded his head. "Yes, Wan Bei knows. Wan Bei will remember Qianbei's teachings." Yi Mo sneered. "Stop acting cool. You just want my 3 immortal crystals, but I won't give them to you. What are you going to do?" The girl next to Tang Mengrao almost laughed out. Shandi's face went cold. "You think I won't kill you just because sect leader Tang is here? Wan Bei, I can kill you like a chicken." Yi Mo laughed and flicked Zisu until it rang before saying coldly, "Shandi, you don't need to be in a rush to kill me. I'll let you do that in a while. When I left Peihai City, I made 3 spirit recovery pills for you. I supplied the herbs. I don't know who it saved." But then Yi Mo raised his voice. "But Shan bastard, what was our deal? Your sect sent a hollow spirit state to protect MOU, but what you do, you old bastard? You let the little bastard and a little witch attack MOU. Not only did you not help MOU, instead you attacked it. If it wasn't for Ling Zhongtian Qianbei, MO, you would be gone now. Is your face a butthole? Your words are like shit." Finally, the girl next to Tang Mengrao couldn't hold her laughter. This was like slapping sect leader Shan in the face a few times. Shandi's face burst red, and he took out his magic artifact again. This was nothing to Shandi, but a mere Wan Bei dared to say this was a deal with Wang Yu sect. "Wan Bei, I will kill you." Shandi took out the fire rune mirror. Yi Mo sneered. "Don't be in a rush. I need to kill someone here first. It's that trash called Yi behind you. He killed my friendly Qishan and dared to attack MOU. I was planning to go over to Wang Yu sect to kill that bastard, but since that bastard came today, I won't need to go to Wang Yu sect in case I ruin the pretty flowers and scare the beautiful wives there." Shandi was so angry he almost spat blood. His cultivation essence burst into the fire rune mirror. He was going to let Yi Mo realize in his death what it meant when a cauldron-filling state level 8 fought with a disaster transformation state level 9. Tang Mengrao sighed but didn't stop Yi Mo. She knew that there was no way she could stop this battle. "Master," Yu Chan had a bad impression of Yi Mo, but after knowing he didn't kill those hollow spirit state cultivators, she was worried for him instead. Tang Meng Rao pulled her to the side and said, "Don't worry, stand behind master, and don't get caught in the crossfire." Yu Chan looked at her master in confusion. Shandi might get her caught in the crossfire if he wanted to kill that man. Wasn't it just a matter of one palm? The rest of the cultivators looked at Yi Mo with pity. Yi Mo probably couldn't even last 10 seconds with Shandi. The cauldron-filling state level 9 saw this, and his eyes flashed with excitement. He had long wanted to attack Yi Mo. As soon as Shandi's fire rune mirror was released, the temperature in the hall rose up drastically. Everyone moved to the side. Yi Mo casually sent Su Jingwen to one corner and hacked out with Su. Su Jingwen wasn't worried at all. The mirror grew bigger and bigger until it loomed over Yi Mo like the midday sun. Shandi really didn't take this level of a cultivator seriously. He used his mirror because he wanted to burn Yi Mo to death straight away. He could get revenge and assert dominance this way. But he wasn't facing an ordinary cauldron-filling state level 7. He was facing Yi Mo, a cauldron-filling state cultivator, who dared to fight with truth realization state cultivators. If Shandi saw Yi Mo's fight with the truth realization state, he would never underestimate Yi Mo, nor even fight with him. Yi Mo instantly found the weakness of Fire Rune Mirror, and Yi Mo felt contemptuous at heart. Shandi had so much fame, but his domain wasn't even in initial completion. The reason Yi Mo had such a feeling was firstly because Shandi had just recovered after coming back from the war, and secondly, since his strongest magic artifact was broken by Lin Zhongtian, and it still hadn't been repaired yet. His domain was indeed in initial completion, and that was quite significant for disaster transformation state cultivators. But his domain needed that magic artifact to show greater power. The fire rune mirror shone brighter until eventually all other cultivators except Yi Mo could only see a scorching ray of white. Even Spirit Sense couldn't scan inside, as it would be turned into nothing. The fire rune mirror shone brighter until eventually all other cultivators except Yi Mo could only see a scorching ray of white. Even Spirit Sense couldn't scan inside, as it would be turned into nothing. Moments later, the scorching ray formed ring-like waves that spread out from the mirror towards Yi Mo. Almost all the cultivators were waiting for Yi Mo to get melted completely, but soon people were surprised. Yi Mo's Su hacked out after the mirror came out, and the purple ray outshone the terrifying ray of Shandi's mirror. When the purple ray clashed with the white rings were forced away and dispersed. The scorching ray was dissipated, and a floating huge fire rune mirror was revealed. Shandi was dazed seeing that Yi Mo broke away his white ray with one slash. Before he could do anything, Yi Mo hacked with Su again. Illusion Cloud Division Strike. "How dare you," he roared. He didn't expect Yi Mo to be completely fine under the attack, and instead used the opportunity to counterattack. He used Fire Rune Mirror again, but this time the white ray was more than twice as strong as before. Everyone could tell Shandi wasn't using his full power before. But even so, Yi Mo, a mere cauldron-filling state level 7, could survive unscathed. This was quite substantial. Yi Mo sneered. He knew he would have to retreat in the wake of this white ray if he was cauldron-filling state middle stage, but now Yi Mo didn't need to do that at all. Before Illusion Cloud Division Strike finished, he used Illusion Cloud Exert will strike, as well as Illusion Cloud Formation Kill Strike. The white ray grew more luminous and the temperature rose higher too, but Yi Mo's purple sword rays also multiplied rapidly. The endless purple sword rays formed a trap formation, blocking the white rays and shrinking. Shandi's eye spasmed. He finally realized that Yi Mo really had the power to talk back to him. Since when was there such an absurd cauldron-filling state cultivator? He had never even heard of this before. He was attacking with full power, but he didn't even have the slightest upper hand. Seeing the endless purple sword rays trap the fire rune mirror, the cultivators around were also astonished. Even the cauldron-filling state level 9 and Zhou Yushuang's master were shook. They didn't expect Yi Mo was this powerful. If they had to deal with Shandi's attack, they would have long been dead. Only Shandi knew what was going on. It wasn't that Yi Mo's cultivation essence or spirit sense was stronger than his, but that Yi Mo's domain was more complete than his. The main thing was Shandi was shocked to find that Yi Mo knew the exact weaknesses of his domain and mirror. Each time Yi Mo attacked, it was based on the weakness. This couldn't continue. If it did, although he wouldn't lose, he would lose face if he had the lower hand. Thinking about this, Shandi was about to use his 7-star sword, but he suddenly found that his spirit sense paused. He cursed, and then the white ray dispersed. He just realized that Yi Mo had a spirit sense cultivation method too. He just cast away Yi Mo's spirit sense attack when he saw the purple sword rays swarm up again. A basic trap formation was formed, and more purple sword rays sprayed out of the kitchen knife, repairing the trap formation. Not good. Yi Mo wanted to trap him. Shandi realized this and howled. 7 dark blue swords flew out and formed a 7-star killing force. Yi Mo sneered. He knew Shandi had other means. It wasn't that simple for him to kill a disaster transformation state tertiary stage. So Yi Mo used his lightning sword at the same time. Rumble, rumble, rumble. More than 10 lightning swords rained down. They were all infant arm-sized, and some were even thicker. Seeing this, some of the cultivators who had seen Yi Mo's lightning sword before realized that Yi Mo didn't even use a tenth of his power when he killed the black and white half-pill king. The cauldron-filling state level 9 shivered. He realized now how dumb he was. With Yi Mo's means, it was all too easy for Yi Mo to kill him, and yet he stupidly thought he had him. The only thing he didn't understand was, why did Yi Mo only want 1 orb when there were 7 here? Zhou Yushuang's master was also very shocked. He looked dazedly at Yi Mo's endless means and realized that if he didn't agree to Yi Mo taking the 7th orb, he might be dead now. Just what sort of maniac was he? He carefully wiped the sweat from his forehead and made up his mind. Even if he met cultivators weaker than him, he wouldn't treat them with the same mentality as before. If he met an absurd cauldron-filling state cultivator like Yi Mo again, it would be too scary. Zhou Yushuang was completely dazed now. She didn't dare to believe her eyes. She had long heard of Shandi's power, and yet a young cultivator like Yi Mo could fight with him and not be losing out at all. This was way beyond her comprehension. Xiao Yi also looked at Yi Mo in shock, not expecting this at all. Shandi was sweating cold. He didn't expect Yi Mo was a lightning cultivator too. His lightning magic was also so absurd. He had to defend against those lightning swords with all his power. The 7-star swords he was going to kill Yi Mo with took a defensive stance instead, and he took out another shield too. Yi Mo's lightning sword was pretty much the same as divine damnation. It was powerful and could bind cultivation essence. Shandi knew that if he was just a little careless, he might be killed here. Since when was there such an absurd cultivator? He had the complete upper hand, fighting a disaster transformation state level 9 as a cauldron-filling state level 7. Shandi cursed. If he knew Yi Mo was this absurd, he would never have looked for trouble with Yi Mo. Yi Mo knew that although Shandi was having trouble defending, it was hard to kill him. He couldn't rain down this level of lightning sword nonstop. If his cultivation essence and spirit sense ran low, it would be time for Shandi's retaliation. But Yi Mo wasn't afraid. He still didn't use his octagonal cauldron or shadowless, not even purple eye soul sever. Yi Mo knew he wouldn't be able to trap Shandi for long, and now he took back Sisu. Just when everyone didn't know why Yi Mo took back his main attack magic artifact, Yi Mo hacked out with Sisu again. A long purple ray sprouted from Sisu and sliced through the air. The beauty made everyone unable to breathe. Illusion cloud hua, mountain strike. The cultivators only noticed its beauty, but when the suffocating pressure came, they shivered. This wasn't a beautiful morning ray. This was a bloodthirsty sword ray. Yi looked up at the purple ray with mesmerization. He felt this ray was so pretty. Tang Meng Rao shook her head. It was already set that Yi Mo was going to kill Yi. No one can stop him. Shan Di just had things a little easier when saw the vibrant purple ray hack towards Yi. He was furious to the extreme, but he didn't have the time to say anything. If he hesitated at all, Yi would die. Shan Di just had things a little easier when saw the vibrant purple ray hack towards Yi. He was furious to the extreme, but he didn't have the time to say anything. If he hesitated at all, Yi would die. Shan Di immediately burned his essence blood and took out a low-grade cultivation artifact shield, instantly blocking Yi. Yi just woke up now. The purple ray was going to kill him. He sweated cold and also took out a low-grade cultivation artifact. The purple ray's momentum reached the max. That pitiful feeling of no regret could be felt by all. He couldn't help taking a few more steps back and was shocked at Yi Mo's power. It was a strike that was relentless until it did what it wanted. However, this strike also had a flaw, and that was it was hard to take it back. If the strike didn't hurt the enemy, it might hurt oneself. Yi Mo knew this, yet he was still adamant on killing Yi. Crack, 2 cracks sounded. The low-grade cultivation artifact Shan Di used cracked like a biscuit. Cultivation essence splashed everywhere, and the air itself was exploding. At the same time, the purple ray dimmed down. However, Yi Mo grunted and burned a mouthful of essence blood. His cultivation essence and spirit sense rose drastically and were inserted into Zisu. That dimmed purple ray lit up once again. Crack, another crack sounded. This shield didn't stop the purple ray for even half a second and was hacked open. The purple ray now was more vibrant than before, so bright that people couldn't even open their eyes, but the people around didn't want to close their eyes. That vibrance was too beautiful. Splurge, a rose seemed to have blossomed amidst the purple ray, making this scene beautiful to the extreme. But soon, the rose withered. Moments later, the purple ray completely disappeared. It came and left fast. Yi laid on the ground lifelessly. A bloody mark stretched across his forehead. The hall was in complete silence. There was no sound, no movement. The place was dead silent. Everyone realized what the red blossom in the purple ray was. Shan Di was stunned. The lightning sword and purple sword ray formation attacking him was gone. Shan Di looked at Yi Mo in disbelief. You killed Yi. You dare to kill Yi. He spat blood out and suddenly roared, I'm going to kill you. Yi Mo glared coldly at Shan Di and sneered, Quit bluffing. You said you were going to kill me before, and I'm still standing here fine. Stop barking. If you want to fight, then fight. Yi Mo waved his hand, and the octagonal cauldron floated above his head. The cultivators here just realized that Yi Mo didn't even use his defense magic artifact before. Yet it was this cauldron-filling state who killed a disaster transformation state level 9 cultivator's disciple while fighting him. No one would believe this if they didn't see with their own eyes. It was too absurd. Shan Di wiped the blood from his mouth. He calmed down instead. Bleak, killing intent flashed across his eyes. He stared at Yi Mo. Very well. You have the power to act up with me. You didn't even release your defense magic artifact up until now. I underestimated you. If I don't kill you for revenge, I swear I'm not a human. Let me see what sort of a prodigy North Far State has birthed. With this, the mirror above his head buzzed, and the 7 short swords emitted shocking killing intent. Master Tang Menrao's disciple watched Yi Mo with extreme shock. She didn't expect a young cultivator like Yi Mo to be able to suppress Shan Di. Martial brother Shan, I don't think this is the place to fight. Place, Marshal nephew, killed Yimo's friend Li Qishan in Peihai City, Tang Mengrao persuaded. Ha ha! Shan Di laughed. He pointed at Yimo, a mere cauldron-filling state insect, killed my disciple. If I don't get revenge for I don't need to come out anymore. What thing is Li Qishan? How can he compare with my disciple? Yimo sneered. I just killed a trash. Why you need to act like your dad died? Oh, is that your illegitimate child? Shan Di didn't say anything, and his seven swords spun rapidly. Then, the sword circle gradually expanded. Sword domains. Tang Mengrao saw this and asked in shock. She didn't expect Shan Di to have this after not seeing him for a few years. Sword domain was much harder to form than cultivation essence domain. One's sword Dao needs to reach a certain level for this. Usually it was used with one sword, but Shan Di used 7. It could only mean his progress was too huge. Yimo saw this and didn't mind at all. He didn't even use Zisu and just took out a clean white cloth instead. No one knew why Yimo did this. His opponent even used sword domain, but he didn't seem worried at all. Tang Mengrao admired Yimo's courage. Shan Di didn't know why Yimo did this either, but Yimo raised the cloth and said, "If you want to fight, I'll fight with you, but you need to wait." Then Yimo took the cloth and wiped his kitchen knife. Then he burned the white cloth before raising Zisu and looking at it. I killed a trash just then. It dirted my sword. It took me quite a while to clean it. Okay, now we can fight. Everyone was at a loss for words. They just realized Yimo still wanted to insult Shan Di first. Everyone saw the knife didn't even touch at all. It was the sword ray that killed Shan Chi's face was green. He knew that in a mocking competition he would never beat Yimo, so he just didn't talk. His cultivation essence burst into the mirror and 7-star swords. The rest of the cultivators all retreated, seeing the two about to fight again. At this moment, a wave of rumblings sounded. The earth below them started to vibrate, as though this place was about to collapse. Earth shatter? All the cultivators thought of these 2 words. If the earth shattered, then it meant they might get devoured by the earth. Even cauldron-filling state cultivators might lose their life if they were trapped deep down the earth. Ordinary deep earth shatter didn't just bury a cultivator down below, but it also had space fissures and space typhoons. There was nothing you could do but await death if you were swooped into a space fissure. Plus, if you were buried a few thousand kilometers below the earth, it was very hard to get back out. You might die there. So when this sounded, even Shan Di, who was desperate to kill Yimo, put away his magic artifact. He needed to get the things inside the 6 orbs before he ran out of here. 2 hollow spirit state cultivators knew it was hopeless to stay here, so they charged towards the door. As soon as they did, space wind blades that were tens of times stronger than before tore them apart. Even Tang Mengrao and Shan Di had a serious face. The 3rd hollow spirit state at the door immediately wanted to retreat, but the foot he reached out with disappeared for no reason. Space fissure. One could possibly dodge space wind blades, but if it was space fissure, then it was certain death unless you were strong enough to rip apart space. However, such masters did not belong in the cultivation realm. In the entire Luoyu continent, there was just one Chu Jiyu. The earth was still shaking, but no one dared to go out now. Yimo pulled Su Jingwen next to him and watched the surroundings. He had been to Truthfall Palace Forbidden Grounds, so he knew how to dodge the space fissures. The earth was still shaking, but no one dared to go out now. Yimo pulled Su Jingwen next to him and watched the surroundings. He had been to Truthfall Palace Forbidden Grounds, so he knew how to dodge the space fissures. He put away the octagonal cauldron, as it was of no use against space fissures. If Shan Di didn't want to die, then he wouldn't fight him now. Shan Di indeed didn't want to fight Yimo now. He was dead. There was no point in fighting now. Yi Mo had a base and family. He wasn't scared of Yi Mo running away. Shan Di saw the 6 golden orbs and said to Tang Meng Rao, "Martial sister Meng Rao, there are still 6 orbs here. Let's take 3 each." Tang Meng Rao smiled bitterly and looked at Yi Mo, sect leader Yi. "What is your opinion?" Shan Di felt extremely uncomfortable hearing this, but he didn't say anything. He knew Yi Mo had the ability to take some too. If he didn't agree, then it would cause a battle. Shan Di wasn't confident in beating Yi Mo at all. A mere cauldron-filling state cultivator could reach domain initial completion and completely control the rhythm of the battle with him. This cultivator was too scary. Even though he wasn't scared of Yi Mo now, he knew that if Yi Mo reached disaster transformation state, he would be no match for Yi Mo, even if Yi Mo was just disaster transformation state level 1. Even Tang Meng Rao thought Yi Mo would ask for 2 of the orbs, but Yi Mo said calmly, "I said, I only want 1 orb. Since I have it, I don't want anything else." "You don't want it?" Tang Meng Rao looked at Yi Mo in shock. She still didn't really believe it. Shan Di sneered, "Martial sister Meng Rao, I'm going for it first." Then Shan Di grabbed towards the 3rd ball. Clearly he wanted the truth carrot pill. With a thud, Shan Di's hand clashed with the golden orb. The orb shattered a little, but it soon closed back up. However, unlike the cauldron-filling state level 9, Shan Di wasn't pushed back. The next moment, he released 7-star swords and pierced at the golden orb. With another deep thud, a fist-sized opening appeared, and before it could repair, Shan Di grabbed at the truth carrot pill. But then his face changed immediately. The bottle of truth carrot pill he got dispersed into cultivation essence. Soon, nothing was left. Seeing this, everyone realized what was going on. The things in the 6th orb were fake. Shan Di dazed, and there was great disappointment in his eyes. He then opened the rest of the few golden orbs, but they were all fake. Nothing was real. Yi Mo looked at this and laughed. It would be strange if there were good things in there. He wasn't that generous, giving all these good things away for free. Now, all the cultivators looked at Yi Mo. They all realized why Yi Mo said he didn't want anything else. He already knew that these things were all fake. The only real thing was probably what was in the 7th orb. People realized why Yi Mo touched all of the orbs. It was to confirm which one was real. Zhou Yushuang's master and the cauldron-filling state level 9 had bitter faces. They finally realized why such a powerful cultivator didn't fight over the rest of the orbs with them. He just casually touched them and knew if it was real or fake, but they wasted so much effort trying to break them, but still didn't know anything. Shan Di looked at Yi Mo with a green face and asked coldly, "The only thing in the real orb was taken by you?" Yi Mo said calmly, "Yes. Do I have to wait for you to come each time I want to take something? Do I need your permission? When I was crossing the Heartless Sea, I also saw an immortal mine. Should I show you everything I got there, or should I just give it to you?" Shan Di's face was very bad. He just realized Yi Mo was someone who could cross the Heartless Sea. The cultivators here all knew of the Heartless Sea, and when they heard Yi Mo crossed the Heartless Sea, they took a breath in. Crossing the Heartless Sea, that was something Truth Realization State did. Truth Realization State tertiary stage. Yet this young guy dared to do that. Just what sort of guy was he? This hall could be devoured by the ground any time. So Shan Di ignored Yi Mo and looked at Tang Meng Rao. "Martial sister Meng Rao, there are 3 immortal crystals. You're also facing a barrier at Truth Realization State. I think." Tang Meng Rao walked to a hollow spirit state and asked some questions. She realized what was going on. Yi Mo took the 7th orb, and there were 3 immortal crystals inside. Anyone would wanted the immortal crystals, much less Tang Meng Rao, who was stuck in disaster transformation state. But that depended on who took the immortal crystals. Tang Meng Rao felt a deep threat from Yi Mo, plus Yi Mo had saved her life. She didn't want to and wasn't able to take the immortal crystals from Yi Mo. So before Shandi finished, she smiled. Sect leader Yi saved my life. My disciple Qiandai did wrong things to his MOU too, so I don't mind sect leader Yi taking the immortal crystals. Shandi felt very uncomfortable. He didn't expect that with their many years of relationship and fighting together, she helped Yi Mo, this stupid youth. Although Shandi really wanted to fight with Yi Mo, he knew he wouldn't be able to win, and he didn't want to lose his life here. In that case, Shandi wanted to go. He knew there were space fissures, but he should be able to make it out. At this moment, Tang Mengrao suddenly looked at Xiao Yi and asked, "What's your name?" Hearing this, Xiao Yi seemed surprised and said, "Tang Qianbei, I'm Xiao Yi. I came in with Brother Yi." Then Xiao Yi quickly came up to Yi Mo. Her eyes seemed to be saying, "If you're going out, please bring me also." But her eyes also seemed afraid of Yi Mo's rejection. Tang Mengrao looked at Yi Mo in confusion. She felt this Xiao Yi was familiar, but didn't know where she had seen her before. At this moment, Yu Chan said, "This Sister Xiao Yi really seems like one person." "Right, Master? I remember." But at this moment, Xiao Yi walked to Yi Mo as though wanting to say something. Before she even said anything, Yi Mo released his octagonal cauldron. She was too close to him now. He knew she was cauldron-filling state level 8, and he had been wary of her. As soon as she neared, Yi Mo released his octagonal cauldron, not because he was scared of her, but because he cared about Su Jingwen. Rumble, a huge explosion sounded in the hall. At the same time, everyone released their defense magic artifacts. However, the hollow spirit state cultivators couldn't react in time. The huge explosion almost tipped the hall over. Those hollow spirit state cultivators were blasted away by the chi wave. After a good while, this explosion calmed down. Other than Yi Mo, Shandi, and Tang Mengrao, there were the two cauldron-filling states still alive. Zhou Yushuang also survived under her master's protection. After a good while, this explosion calmed down. Other than Yi Mo, Shandi, and Tang Mengrao, there were the two cauldron-filling states still alive. Zhou Yushuang also survived under her master's protection. Truth explosion bead. The cauldron-filling state level 9 said in shock. Although he released his magic artifact in time, he was closer than Yi Mo, so he was lightly injured. Someone who could instantly activate Truth Explosion Bead couldn't be just hollow spirit state. This meant that female cultivator hit her power. Shandi's face was calm and felt unsatisfied. That female cultivator used Truth Explosion Bead to ambush Yi Mo at this range, but still didn't get him. Yi Mo wasn't simple. Xiao Yi didn't expect Yi Mo to be wary of her, and to release his octagonal cauldron before she activated the Truth Explosion Bead. Seeing this, Xiao Yi knew she wouldn't be able to get Yi Mo, but the orb had already activated, and she couldn't take it back. "Master, I feel like that Xiao Yi is really like Martial Sister Qiandai." "No, I feel she is Martial Sister Qiandai," Yu Chan suddenly said. She then asked worriedly, "Master, why is she using the Truth Explosion orb against Yi Mo?" I know." Yu Chan remembered that Yi Mo killed Ao, Qianjie's brother Ao Qiuilong. Tang Mengrao's face was also very bad now. The moment Xiao Yi attacked, she could tell Xiao Yi was Ao Qiandai. She nodded. Qiandai used a space transmission rune to get away. Yi Mo heard their conversation and just realized that it was Ao Qiandai ambushing him. His face went cold. "Sect leader Tang is powerful indeed. You trained a cauldron-filling state level 8 disciple. I admire your capabilities." "You're saying Qiandai is cauldron-filling state level 8. She didn't see Ao Qianjie's real power in that moment. Yi Mo sneered. "Qiandai, you think if your disciple Ao Qiandai is really only around 30, she can reach cauldron-filling state level 8? You think there are such prodigies in the world? You're saying—" Tang Mengrao was shook. She knew Yi Mo meant that Ao Qiandai was possessed. Yi Mo sneered, but didn't say anything. However, Yu Chan said, "My master said your cauldron-filling state level 7. How did you reach that?" Yi Mo said calmly, "Do you think there will be another prodigy like me? Plus, I'm much older than that Ao Qiandai." Yu Chan was dazed. She didn't expect Yi Mo to just call himself the #1 prodigy. How was she so shameless? You saw her real power long before. That's why you used octagonal cauldron before she used her orb, right? Tang Mengrao asked after a long while. If Qiandai was really possessed, then she must have been blind for not realizing. Yi Mo knew Tang Mengrao didn't see Ao Qiandai's real power for sure, so he just nodded. "That's right, I saw her hiding her cultivation level. Out of the cauldron-filling state cultivators who came in, I'm the only honest one. Everyone else hid their power." Then Yi Mo looked at Tang Mengrao. Cultivators who have possessed a body would have much stronger divine damnations than ordinary divine damnations. Think about it. Did that Ao Qiandai ever ask you to protect her from disturbance during her divine damnation? Tang Mengrao heard this and thought it was really so. Ao Qiandai never asked her to protect her during divine damnation. If she still couldn't realize that Ao Qiandai was possessed, she would be too dumb. Then she looked at Yi Mo. "Why did she ambush you then?" "She used the truth explosion orb to attack you. Clearly she didn't plan to take your things. Since she isn't Ao Qiandai, she has no reason to ambush you." Yi Mo said calmly, "How should I know? If I knew, I would have killed her already." Zhou Yushuang's master also knew his power was exposed. He could withstand that blast wave before. Clearly he was no hollow spirit state cultivator. Yi Mo's words meant that he already knew he was a cauldron-filling state cultivator when he came in. It was funny how he thought he had hidden his power. Realizing this, he showed his power to be cauldron-filling state peak stage, but Yi Mo's face didn't even change one bit. However, Shan Di frowned a little. The cauldron-filling state level 9 smiled bitterly. He thought he was the strongest here, but he was actually the weakest. Shan Di didn't expect that woman who left to be Ao Qiandai. He glanced coldly at Yi Mo and looked back at the sealed exit. He also took out a space transmission rune. Yi Mo didn't stop him. He couldn't kill Shan Di now as well. Just when Shan Di was about to activate the space transmission rune, the sounds outside grew even louder. Yi Mo's face changed, and he quickly used the octagonal cauldron to protect himself and Su Jingwen. The other 2 cauldron-filling state cultivators and Tang Mengrao also took out space transmission runes. Everyone knew that other than this rune, there was no way out. It was too dangerous. Yi Mo just realized that he was the only one without any preparation, not even one space transmission rune. Yi Mo immediately knew things weren't good. He saw that Tang Mengrao didn't lend him one either, meaning that she only had one. He thought of Zhou Yushuang. She had a level 8 transmission rune before. Her master was here, so he probably had more. As soon as he thought of this, the others activated their space transmission runes. Instantly, 3 white lights flashed in the hall. Tang Mengrao looked at Yi Mo with a sliver of guilt. Yi Mo saved her before, but now she didn't have a space transmission rune. She just wanted to leave here as early as possible, so she wouldn't be guilty. Just when she wanted to activate it, she realized her rune was level 9. It should be fine taking 4 people. Plus, this was an emergency. Thinking about this, Tang Mengrao quickly said, "Yi Mo, hurry up and hug me. We can leave together." Yi Mo was just thinking of robbing that cauldron-filling state level 9 storage ring to see if there were any space transmission runes, but hearing this, he came over to Tang Mengrao with Su Jingwen without hesitation. He put his arm around Tang Mengrao's waist. Tang Mengrao looked very young, but she wasn't young. She had always been cultivating, and thus never touched male cultivators before. She had never experienced love. Now that Yi Mo held her, her body went a little soft. That Masculine chi made her tremble, and she forgot to activate the transmission rune. Yi Mo had been with Su Jingwen and Song Yangzhu these few days, and was familiar with Tang Mengrao's reaction. He really didn't expect her to be like this. She was too sensitive. Just when Yi Mo was about to remind her, Yu Chan called out desperately, "Master, hurry up." However, Yi Mo let go of Tang Mengrao's waist and shook his head. "No need, it's a waste." Then, Yi Mo heard 3 thuds. Shan Di, the cauldron-filling state level 9, and Zhou Yushuang with her master landed. Clearly, the transmission rune was of no use here. This meant that space itself here had changed after Ao Qiandai left. Tang Mengrao just woke up. Her face was red like an apple. She really didn't expect her body to react like this, making her lose her mind for a moment. "Yi Mo, how dare you?" Shan Di reproached. The space transmission rune didn't work, and everyone was thinking of a way to leave. So was Yi Mo. The space transmission rune didn't work, and everyone was thinking of a way to leave. So was Yi Mo. But at this time, Shan Di suddenly said this. Everyone else was dazed, and so was Yi Mo. Su Jingwen smiled and whispered to Yi Mo, "That man is angry because you felt sect leader Tang's waist." Yi Mo looked back at Su Jingwen helplessly. "Jingwen, I didn't feel her up." Su Jingwen laughed, but didn't answer. She was much more sensitive than Yi Mo and had noticed what was going on. Shan Di had been targeting Yi Mo, and this made Su Jingwen very annoyed. But her power was too low, so she intentionally said Yi Mo felt Tang Mengrao's waist to annoy Shan Di. Despite her whispering, everyone heard it. Shan Di was just going to reproach Yi Mo, but now that Su Jingwen said this, he took out his fire rune mirror, clearly about to have a fight with Yi Mo. Yi Mo knew what Su Jingwen meant, and shook his head, casually taking out Zisu. "Martial Brother Shan, what are you doing? What time is it? The space transmission rune is useless, and yet you still want to fight here." Tang Mengrao knew Shan Di was going to fight because of her. Shan Di stared at Yi Mo. "Martial Sister Mengrao, this person is too rude. How dare he assault you? He thinks he has some power. I'm going to see what he's got today." Tang Mengrao's face sunk. "Martial Brother Shan, if you want to fight with Yi Mo, don't bring me into it. I let Yi Mo hold me before. It has nothing to do with being rude. I don't like people using me as an excuse." Then Tang Mengrao pulled Yu Chan and said, "Let's go to the side." Hearing this, Shan Di's face went green. Tang Mengrao even changed to calling him Yi Mo instead of sect leader Yi. He didn't talk anymore and released his white mirror. Yi Mo was also pissed. If it wasn't that Su Jingwen was here, he would fight with this Shan Di no matter what. But now he could only put Su Jingwen to the side and then smash over with lightning swords. The rest of the cultivators saw Yi Mo and Shan Di fight again and didn't dare to go near them at all. Yi Mo's lightning swords, as well as Zisu's sword ray, clashed with Shan Di's 7-star swords. The white rays never fully formed once. Each time they were about to form, they were hacked open by Zisu's sword rays. Lightning flashed in the hall, and everyone looked at it in shock. Too powerful. A cauldron-filling state level 7 cultivator fought with a disaster transformation state level 9, and this cauldron-filling state level 7 was attacking 70% of the time. Shan Di seemingly was having it tough. He was covered in dirt. However, Yi Mo knew that though he appeared to have the upper hand in the fight, his lightning sword couldn't do much to Shan Di. The more the fight progressed, the more it wouldn't benefit him. The lightning sword used up too much cultivation essence and spirit sense. Just when Yi Mo wanted to give Shan Di a tough attack and use spirit sense sword and shadowless, Zisu and the 7-star swords clashed together head-on. There was another huge explosion, and one side of the wall collapsed. Everything thought that this hall was surrounded by the mountain bodies, but when the wall collapsed, everyone realized that there was a huge space behind the hall. There was a dim light inside this space. Just when everyone else was hesitating, Yi-Mo suddenly put away the octagonal cauldron and jumped to Su Jingwen, bringing her inside the space. Everyone noticed this, and all copied Yi-Mo. As soon as they left, a piece of the hall disappeared, and then without any premonition, another piece disappeared. Even an idiot realized that the hall didn't disappear due to Space Fisher, but Space Devour. Everyone looked at Yi-Mo with admiration. If Yi-Mo didn't see it earlier and charge into here, no one would be able to stop that Space Devour. Shandi completely lost the intention to fight with Yi-Mo. This Space Devour was too terrifying, and he felt greatly threatened by Yi-Mo now. He realized that he might really be no match for Yi-Mo. Tang Mengrao walked up to Yi-Mo and asked, "Yi-Mo, how did you know there was danger in that hall?" Yi-Mo didn't talk. He felt eerie too. He felt there was danger in the hall not because he was powerful, but he had experienced that devour before. In the Herb Valley, there was a terrifying space devouring thing in the mist. Yi-Mo never expected to encounter it again here. Yi-Mo wasn't a timid person, but this was something that he completely couldn't defend against. No one spoke, not knowing how dangerous it was here. A few people regretted that only Yi-Mo got 3 immortal crystals here. The rest of the people didn't get anything. After a long while, Yi-Mo said to Tang Mengrao, "Sect leader Tang, we can't stay here for long. We need to leave quickly." Tang Mengrao nodded. "I know, but where can we go? This place is a gray mist. If we go further inside, we knows what we'll encounter." Just when Yi-Mo wanted to talk, another large piece of the hall disappeared. Clearly, it was being devoured by something that was moving towards here. Yi-Mo didn't talk, and just took Su Jingwen to fly inside more. A while later, the Space Devourer would be at their place. Seeing this, the rest of the people all didn't talk and followed Yi-Mo. Everyone saw Yi-Mo dodge the Truth Explosion Orb and the Space Devourer, so they felt that Yi-Mo had the natural ability to avoid danger. So they all followed Yi-Mo inside. If Yi-Mo was just by himself, he could just hide in the Golden Page world, but now Su Jingwen was with him, so he couldn't just flee. He could only bring people in his Golden Page world once he was Truth Realization State. The more they went inside, the narrower it became. Moments later, Yi-Mo saw there was no more road ahead. A tall sacrifice stage appeared. Next to it was a small temple. Yi-Mo saw this and immediately knew it was a seal. He was a level 9 formation grandmaster. Seeing the seal, Yi-Mo thought of the spirit body immediately. This seal must be for that spirit body, but then he realized he was wrong. This seal was shaky, but it wasn't broken, although it seemed to be about to break at any time. Yi-Mo looked behind and suddenly thought, did the space here disappear due to the weakening of the seal? The rumbling sound didn't stop. Yi-Mo took out a few formation flags and put them into the surroundings of the seal. Regardless, he had to try reseal this place. The rest of the people saw this and didn't do anything. Soon, Yi-Mo found that after he put the formation flags down, the seal seemed to be shaking more. Yi-Mo looked at the spirit gathering formation around here. The spirit chi seemed arid, so he took out 100 extreme grade spirit stones and set up a spirit gathering formation quickly. Everyone saw this and was shocked. Yi-Mo was too wealthy, taking out 100 extreme grade spirit stones so easily. Yi-Mo found that after he set up the spirit gathering formation, the seal indeed was suppressed a lot more. He rejoiced and threw out all sorts of formation flags, suppressing the seal. Yi-Mo found that after he set up the spirit gathering formation, the seal indeed was suppressed a lot more. He rejoiced and threw out all sorts of formation flags, suppressing the seal. 15 minutes later, Yi-Mo and everyone else found that the rumbling sound grew quieter until it was almost unable to be heard. That seal seemed still a little wobbly. Yi-Mo looked at the ring on the stage and hardened his heart, putting an immortal crystal on it. After that, the seal immediately quietened down. The formation around the stage seemed to be exerting great power. All the spirit chi rushed over to empower the formation. Yi Mo, is that stage a seal? Tang Mengrao asked. Yi Mo nodded. This is indeed a seal. A level 10 seal too. Although I can't set up a level 10 formation, I can repair it a little. Yi Mo scanned everyone and said, this formation still needs a lot of top-grade materials. This seal is what seals the monster that can devour space. I believe everyone knows that if the seal is opened, it won't just be the disaster of North Far State. We are here, so I want everyone to take out their top-grade materials. I will forge new formation flags to reseal this place. I've already taken out 100 extreme grade spirit stones and an immortal crystal. If you're still not willing to take out things, don't blame me for just leaving here. Tang Mengrao knew Yi Mo was a level 9 formation grandmaster, but everyone else was extremely wary. Yi Mo was so young, yet he was a level 9 formation grandmaster. However, no one dared to ignore a spirit that could devour space itself. Plus, Yi Mo already took out extreme grade spirit stones and an immortal crystal, so everyone took out their best materials. Even Shandi didn't dare to go against Yi Mo now. Yi Mo even collected 100 extreme grade spirit stones again. Shandi and Tang Mengrao had the most top-grade materials. Despite North Far State being a poor place, the sect leaders of 8-star sect still had quite a lot. Seeing Yi Mo familiarly make formation flags, Shandi felt his mouth spasm. This guy was too absurd. As the formation flags rained down, Yi Mo took out another 100 extreme grade spirit stones, and the extreme grade spirit stones other people contributed and put them on. Yi Mo's formation mainly repaired the spirit gathering formation and perfected the original seal. It wasn't as stable as before, but this seal would be able to last another 100 or so years. Shandi really wanted Yi Mo to take out the remaining 2 immortal crystals, but he knew he would be scorned, so he held his words. When Yi Mo closed the formation flags, everyone felt the ground wobble, and then moments later, it disappeared. The rumbling sounds also disappeared. Marshal Uncle Yi, since you sealed this place, can we go back the original way? Yu-chan asked. Yi Mo sighed and looked at her. I don't need to go back to know that the way here has been sealed. It can't be opened from the outside. If we force our way from the inside, the seal will be broken again. Huh? Yu-chan exclaimed. Then what do we do? There seems no way out of here. Even space transmission runes don't work. Are we going to be trapped here forever? Su Jingwen also looked worriedly at Yi Mo. Can we go out? Yi Mo shook his head. I don't know, but there's a temple there. We can go check it out. Now that Yi Mo said this, everyone remembered there was still a small temple. Yi Mo went in and saw a small futon. There was a jade slip next to it that seemed very new. Other than that, there was a painting on the back wall. The painting had a mountain and lake, but one's spirit sense couldn't penetrate the painting. Yi Mo picked up the painting, and he scanned in. Immediately, he heard a roar, "Chew bastard. You told me that if I guarded the seal for 500 years, there would be someone to replace me. But now tens of 500 years have passed, and I don't see anyone, much less an immortal curl flower. Chew bastard, you're quite famous and respected too, but you tricked me, shui yu feng. Fuck you. In another few hundred years, even my essence spirit will die." Hearing this, Yi Mo was shook. It was that spirit body's voice. He thought the soul sealed here was a powerful being or a demonic being, but it was actually the person guarding the seal. I can't guard the seal anymore. If the sealing formation isn't repaired, the first thing that bastard is going to eat, once it comes out, is me. 5 insects came last time, and 3 died. 1 got away with space transmission rune. And there's a bastard called Yi Mo with the 9-fork key. I thought he was replacing me, but his power is weaker than an insect. I can drown him with 1 spit. Then I found that bastard wasn't here to replace me. He just wanted to get rich, and he's sly like a dog. He tricked away my 5-element mobility technique, and my level 10 material, 9 feather golden peng's tail feather. I won't let this guy go. But that ye bastard helped me a little. His 9-fork key wasn't completely useful, but it loosened the entrance, giving me a way to go out. Luckily, 4 more nascent soul state insects came, and I used those 4 idiots to set up a blood-devouring formation. Only then could I go out. As for the seal, it's not my problem anymore. I've helped you guard it for so many years, but I don't even see the shadow of immortal curl flower. What else do you want me to do? I'm going away anyways. The seal will be broken with a little force from the outside. If you can see this, then you do. If not, whatever. You didn't keep your words. I'm not going to stay here and wait for death. I'm going. As for the things in the 7 orbs, I didn't take them all. I left the 3 immortal crystals. I believe that should be enough for other people to seal the formation. Yi Mo speechlessly gave the jade slip to Tang Mengrao, who was waiting on the side. According to Shui Yufeng, the 7 orbs were for the next seal keeper. But the next person didn't come, so Shui Yufeng took all those good things in the 7 orbs. He was really stingy and only left behind 3 immortal crystals. Now he had to use 1 to seal the formation. After everyone read this, people realized there was no way out. Even if someone wanted to come in, he would need the 9-fork key. Zhou Yushuang hesitated and asked, "Brother Yi, did you follow behind me when I came in?" Yi Mo nodded. "That's right, I was behind." "Yi Mo, it seems we can only come in but not go out," Tang Mengrao said worriedly. "But luckily you know formations. Otherwise, who knows what this terrifying monster is?" Yi Mo nodded and walked up to the wall, ripping off the painting. Yi Mo knew this painting wasn't ordinary. Otherwise, it wouldn't be blocking spirit sense. He put it away without hesitation. Shan Di saw this, but didn't say anything. Yi Mo knew this painting wasn't ordinary. Otherwise, it wouldn't be blocking spirit sense. He put it away without hesitation. Shan Di saw this, but didn't say anything. Everyone looked at the stone wall. There was nothing there but a sink. Yi Mo saw it. It was another 9-fork key sink. Tang Mengrao looked at Yi Mo and asked, "Is this the sink that the 9-fork key can be placed in, as the jade slip said?" Yi Mo nodded. "Yes, this place might be for the seal keeper to go out. This small temple is probably a formation, a teleportation formation." Everyone looked at Yi Mo, as only he had the 9-fork key. Seeing everyone look at him, Yi Mo immediately said, "I have the 9-fork key, but there's no point in looking at me. Just look at the 4 corners of this temple. There are 4 sinks, meaning the temple needs to be powered." "Then just used spirit stones," Yu Chan said without thinking. Yi Mo didn't speak. Seeing this, Tang Mengrao asked uncertainly, "Yi Mo, do you mean that these sinks need immortal crystals instead of spirit stones?" Yi Mo nodded. "Look at the sink for the crystal. It's hexagonal. Even extreme grade spirit stones only have 4 corners. Only immortal crystals have 6 corners. I'm sure that this place had immortal crystals, but they were taken by the guy guarding this place." Seeing everyone want to talk, Yi Mo said again, "I only have 2 immortal crystals. It's useless even if I use them. Why don't we try with extreme grade spirit stones first? If not, we'll think of another way." Tang Mengrao asked. Yi Mo said heavily, "We can try, but if there's not enough power, space may be contorted and lives may be lost." Tang Mengrao thought for a long while and said, "There's clearly no other way out. We'll probably try eventually, so we might as well try now." Tang Mengrao then looked at the others and questioned, "What do you guys think?" Everyone said they were fine with it. Yi Mo also knew there was no other way but to try now, so he took out 4 extreme grade spirit stones and put them into the sinks. Then he took out the 9 key fork, putting it into the slot. The people in here waited a few breaths. They felt this temple was starting to move. Yi Mo held Su Jingwen close to his side. He didn't want them to be separated again. The temple spun faster and faster. 10 seconds later, everyone in the temple felt lighter, and a faint yellow ray formed. After the ray disappeared, the people in the temple had been teleported away. Yi Mo felt dizzy, and immediately things felt wrong. At the instant of teleportation, most cultivators' spirit sense and conscience were obscured. People wouldn't be able to feel the notion of space until their power reached a certain level. But now, he clearly felt the teleportation process was dizzy. There was only one explanation, and that was the teleportation went wrong. He held Su Jingwen closely, but didn't take out his octagonal cauldron. It was too dangerous to take out anything during teleportation. Not only would you lose your thing, but it also might cause dispositions in space and start space chaos flows. Yi Mo just shut his eyes. This situation wasn't something he could deal with. He could only leave it to fate. He really disliked such a feeling, but he had to face it. After an unknown amount of time, Yi Mo felt solid land. He immediately rejoiced. No matter if the teleportation formation went wrong, he wasn't afraid as long as they were on land. Yi Mo kicked away large rocks, creating a huge cave. He wasn't injured, and soon Yi Mo flew out from the cave with Su Jingwen. The next moment, Tang Meng Rao and them were all teleported here. Just like Yi Mo, everyone crashed like a crater. Luckily, all cultivators here were cauldron-filling state or above, and the weaker people had someone to protect them. No one was injured. What is this place? Yuchan got out of Tang Mingrao's arms and asked in shock. Yi Mo had already started studying their location. They were in a desert. Behind it were endless mountains, the peaks soaring into the clouds, such that even spirit sense couldn't see the end of them. There was also a river in front. Behind the river was a forest that spirit sense couldn't see the ends of. Yi Mo had never heard of this place, but he wasn't worried. Since they were out, with Shan Di and Tang Mingrao's knowledge, surely they would know where this place was. Yi Mo wasn't worried, no matter where in North Far State they were. He could get back to Pei High City on Blue Moon in a short time. Seeing Tang Mengrao didn't speak, Yi Mo asked, Sect Leader Tang, where are we? Tang Mengrao looked around with confusion and scanned her spirit sense out. Then she frowned. Yi Mo, I've never been here. I don't know where is this. Then she looked at Shan Di. Martial Brother Shan, do you know where this is? Shan Di looked for a while and shook his head. I don't know either. Zhou Yushuang's master spoke. No matter where it is, it must be on Luo Yu continent. We just need to go out and ask. Yi Mo fell silent. The teleportation process went wrong, probably due to insufficient spirit power. But luckily, space distortion didn't happen. How do you know it went wrong? Yuchan asked in shock. Yi Mo said heavily, the teleportation formation is probably a set location teleportation, so we should be teleported to another teleportation formation. But this place not only has no teleportation formation, but we also landed irregularly. Shan Di sneered but didn't attack and said to Tang Meng Rao, Martial Sister Meng Rao, I'm going first. If I have time, I will come visit Jade Woman Mountain. Then he released a middle-grade flying cultivation artifact and disappeared. The cauldron-filling state level 9, and Zhou Yushuang's master also saluted with their fists to Yi Mo and Tang Meng Rao. Wan Bei will be leaving. Thank you, Brother Yi and Sect Leader Tang, for your magnanimity. Then the two took out flying cultivation artifacts and left in different directions. Seeing this, Tang Meng Rao smiled awkwardly. Yi Mo, I'm going too. If you have time, then you can come to Jade Woman Mountain with your wife. I'm very sorry about Qiandai. Yi Mo said hesitantly. Sect Leader Tang, I feel this place is not right. Let's leave later. Hearing this, Tang Meng Rao seemed to have thought of something and blushed. She quickly said, It's fine. As long as it's in North Far State, I'm not scared of anything." Hearing this, Yi-Mo didn't say anything and saluted with his fists. Yu-chan had a better and better impression of Yi-Mo. She also said to Su Jingwen, "Sister Jingwen, you can visit Jade Woman Mountain with Martial Uncle Yi when you're free. You're the second prettiest girl I've seen." Then she seemed to have thought of Ao Qianai and looked sad. Tang Mengrao sighed and nodded to Yi-Mo before disappearing on a low-grade flying cultivation artifact. "Yi-Mo, what do we do? Why don't we go with them?" Su Jingwen asked. Yi-Mo looked at the river and forest. "Jingwen, I feel this place is very eerie. Here is better, but as for the forest and the mountains, I don't feel they're a part of North Far State." Yi-Mo felt a sliver of danger here. Su Jingwen frowned and nodded. "Yeah, I have this feeling too. The spirit chi here seems much greater than North Far State." Yi-Mo nodded. "You're right, I've been to South Peace State. The spirit chi here is no less than the average place in South Peace State. It's even denser than some small sect spirit chi. If this place was in North Far State, how could there not be a sect here?" Su Jingwen just wanted to agree when they heard a terrifying howl of pain. The cauldron-filling state level 9 dragged an arm, charging over from the mountains. Before he landed, a gray figure chased behind him, spewing out a gray mist. The cauldron-filling state level 9 cultivator was immediately taken away. Then, the gray figure darted back into the mountains. The cauldron-filling state level 9 dragged an arm, charging over from the mountains. Before he landed, a gray figure chased behind him, spewing out a gray mist. The cauldron-filling state level 9 cultivator was immediately taken away. Then, the gray figure darted back into the mountains. Seeing this, Yi-Mo took a cold breath in. Even he wouldn't be so clean killing that cauldron-filling state level 9. Su Jingwen shivered and tightly held Yi-Mo's arm. Those mountains were too terrifying. She asked quietly, "Yi-Mo, what was that?" A cauldron-filling state level 9 cultivator was just swept away. Yi-Mo's face grew serious. "Jingwen, we need to find a place to hide. This place is too dangerous. That was a level 10 beast. I suspect that Spirit Beast found us, but for some reason he didn't come over." "What about sect leader Tang and Yu-chan?" Su Jingwen subconsciously asked. "We can't even protect ourselves now, much less them." That cauldron-filling state level 9 just went into the mountains, and a level 10 spirit beast came chasing him. The spirit beast wasn't morphed into human form yet, so they're very ferocious. Even a truth realization state primary stage cultivator wouldn't be able to do anything to a level 10 peak spirit beast, Yi-Mo said. Su Jingwen asked, "Then where do we hide?" Yi-Mo patted her shoulder. "Don't worry, we still have a half-immortal artifact. If worst comes to worst, we can escape with that." "Then let's go now," Su Jingwen said. Yi-Mo shook his head. "Whether it's the forest behind the river or the mountains, my spirit sense can't scan to the ends. If we're surrounded by spirit beasts, then no matter how fast Blue Moon is, we're dead for sure. But what can we do if we hide?" Su Jingwen asked worriedly. Yi-Mo smiled. "Don't worry, I have 2 immortal crystals. We can hide and cultivate. I believe these 2 crystals will be enough for me to reach disaster transformation state." "How long would that take?" Su Jingwen asked immediately. Even if Yi-Mo had immortal crystals, that would take time. If they cultivated here for too long, those spirit beasts would notice. Yi-Mo didn't have time to explain the time formation disk to her. So he said, "I have a way. I'll tell you later." Then, Yi-Mo took Su Jingwen to leave. They only flew out 100 kilometers and stopped. Then he used stealth magic to hide Su Jingwen and him. Soon, he saw a level 10 blue wind wolf stand around where they were for a while before leaving. Su Jingwen didn't dare to release her spirit sense, but Yi-Mo was shook. This blue wind wolf was level 10 and still hadn't morphed into human form. It wasn't even the same spirit beast that took the cauldron-filling state level 9, meaning there were many more level 10 spirit beasts than he had thought. Tang Meng Rao and her disciple were in danger. Zhou Yushuang and her master were probably dead. The desert was so small, and Yi Mo knew he had no way to escape. Yi Mo didn't dare to go into the river, as either. Who knew what was in there? Yi Mo took Su Jingwen and used an earth mobility magic, disappearing from where they were. For ordinary people, even if you went 100 kilometers below the earth, people could scan there with spirit sense. But Yi Mo didn't face that problem, as he was a formation grandmaster. He took Su Jingwen down nearly tens of thousands of meters before stopping. He opened up a space like a room and set up a few stealth formations there. Then he set up a level 9 defense formation inside before taking out the spirit marrow pond and saying, "You can cultivate in here. You're going to go into that golden page world." Su Jingwen asked. Yi Mo took out a jade card and said, "My golden page world will be in the spirit marrow pond. If you're in trouble, just crush the jade card and I'll come out. I can see your cultivation from inside too, so don't worry." After Yi Mo went in the golden page world, Su Jingwen began cultivating with the pills Yi Mo left with her. She knew that even if she reached hollow spirit state, she wouldn't be of much help to Yi Mo, but the higher her power was, the more help she was. If she didn't cultivate, how was she going to wait such a long time? Yi Mo came onto the extreme grade spirit range. He put it with the Herb King's spirit range now, next to the bitter bamboo. In order to hurry up and increase his power, he couldn't care about wastage. He set up a spirit gathering formation on the extreme grade spirit range. Then Yi Mo took out the immortal crystals, although they were best left for breaking through to truth realization state. But even if it was a god crystal, Yi Mo would use it now. He had to hurry up and cultivate. When he was strong enough, he would take Su Jingwen to leave this place. Yi Mo split one immortal crystal into 7 pieces and put them into the 7 sinks. Yi Mo immediately noticed that the formation disc spun much faster than before. This time, he didn't even use the spirit range to cultivate. He just held the other immortal crystal and started absorbing the chi instantly. Yi Mo felt all his meridians expand out. That indescribable feeling of satisfaction made him feel cultivation was so good. This was immortal spirit chi. Yi Mo felt deeply the loss of the immortal crystal he used for the seal. Breaking through was no trouble for the immortal crystal at all. It was like walking on a huge road. He easily came to cauldron-filling state level 8. Yi Mo even wanted to take off the immortal crystals from the time formation disc and use it for cultivation, but thinking about how much the time formation disc wasted extreme grade spirit range, Yi Mo resisted that urge. Immortal crystals cultivation were good, but using immortal crystals to power the time formation disc was better. There was no waste of spirit chi. 5 months later, Yi Mo was cauldron-filling state level 9. Yi Mo quickly stopped cultivation and stopped the time formation disc too. He found that only a quarter of the immortal crystal was gone. Yi Mo rejoiced. This meant that he could use the time formation disc for about a year. The immortal crystal was too powerful. Less than half of the immortal crystal used for cultivation was gone, and he reached from cauldron-filling state level 7 to cauldron-filling state level 9 peak. The time was also greatly shortened. If he didn't use immortal crystals, he would need at least 2 years, and that was with the extreme grade spirit range. But Yi Mo still devoured most of the spirit chi from the extreme grade spirit range. Immortal crystals just made it more convenient for him to break through. Yi Mo saw through the surveillance formation that Su Jingwen was still cultivating and didn't disturb her. He took out sha fruit and a few spirit herbs and started concocting the disaster life pill. He was preparing for disaster transformation state. The pill was a level 8 spirit pill, but Yi Mo was a level 8 pill king, so it was very easy for him. Yi Mo's heaven flame had reached blue color already, and after 15 minutes, he had concocted the pills. There were 5 special grade and 1 top grade pill. He put 1 pill on his hand and the rest back in the jade bottle. He then left the Golden Page world. He had to have his divine damnation outside as the Golden Page world didn't allow for it yet. You're out this quick? Su Jingwen asked Yi Mo in confusion. How long have I been cultivating? Yi Mo asked. He estimated that the time ratio would be greater than using the spirit range to power the time formation disk. How long have I been cultivating? Yi Mo asked. He estimated that the time ratio would be greater than using the spirit range to power the time formation disk. It's only been 10 days. What's your power level now? Su Jingwen asked in confusion. It was indeed a little faster, but very limited. He was 1 month faster. Yi Mo explained simply to her. I have a time formation disk in my small world. I cultivated for a year inside, but it's only been a month outside. I'm cauldron filling state peak stage now, and about to have my divine damnation. Su Jingwen looked at Yi Mo in shock and asked in surprise and joy, then does that mean we can use the time formation disk for cultivation? I was wondering how you were cultivating so fast, so it's a 1 to 12 time ratio. I also want to use the time formation disk to cultivate. Yi Mo looked at her awkwardly. It needs immortal crystals or an extreme grade spirit range. Su Jingwen nodded. I understand. Even with the time formation disk, we won't be able to cultivate unless we have immortal crystals or an extreme grade spirit range. Su Jingwen didn't think much and stood up, kissing Yi Mo before saying, Go have your divine damnation and take me out too. I will watch on the side. Hearing this, Yi Mo said seriously, Definitely not. I'm going to have my divine damnation in the mountains. If you go, I won't be able to protect you, and it may affect my divine damnation. But there are so many high-level spirit beasts there. If you go alone, how can I feel safe? Su Jingwen asked worriedly. Yi Mo smiled. You should just wait for me here. After I'm done, I will need to come back to cultivate. Disaster transformation state level 1 is much stronger than before, but it's not 100% safe here. Su Jingwen heard this and said, Okay then, hurry up and reach truth realization state and show me inside your small world. I want to see if you're hiding pretty women there. Yi Mo knew Su Jingwen wanted him to relax and have the divine damnation, but the words made him awkward. He really was hiding pretty women in the Golden Page world. There was Luo Yin and Nye Shuang. Luckily, she didn't think much and said, Go have your divine damnation. Don't worry about me. I'll stay here. No matter how long you take, I will wait for you here. Okay. Yi Mo added an attack formation outside before dashing out to the mountains. 15 minutes later, Yi Mo was at a peak that was dense in spirit chi. As soon as he appeared, his spirit sense saw multiple level 9 spirit beasts. There were also 2 level 10 spirit beasts here. Yi Mo's skin crawled. Just what was this place? There were so many powerful spirit beasts here. What he saw next shocked him even more. He saw a large patch of level 6 spirit herbs, a few hundred purple-back blue carrots. Not far ahead were 3 level 7 spirit herbs, tiger blood Ji. Yi Mo took a cold breath in. There were so many spirit herbs here, yet no one touched them. As soon as Yi Mo looked there, a few level 8 spirit beasts saw Yi Mo, and their eyes looked frenzied as they charged over at Yi Mo. Yi Mo ignored those spirit herbs and took out formation flags, setting up a spirit gathering formation. He threw down 100 extreme grade spirit stones and a large bunch of spirit crystals before eating the disaster life pill. Then he started circulating the 3 birth chant. Those few level 8 spirit beasts sneered Yi Mo soon, but before they even came here, Yi Mo threw out a few lightning swords. With a rumble, the black lightning swords flashed, and all those level 8 spirit beasts died without a chance to ran. Seeing this power, the other spirit beasts all stopped, but soon a few level 9 spirit beasts came, and they didn't have any concerns at all. Yi-Mo threw out a few more lightning swords. The leading level 9 redback horned wolf flipped a few times before standing up. Its back was black, clearly it was heavily injured. Seeing this, those few level 9 spirit beasts stopped and looked at Yi-Mo with concern. Yi-Mo ignored them and ran the three-birth chant like crazy. He wanted to attract the divine damnation. The spirit beast knew Yi-Mo's lightning swords were powerful and didn't charge up, but they didn't leave either. The level 9 spirit beast saw Yi-Mo just cultivate, and cruelty beamed out of its eyes. It howled, and the sound soon echoed in the mountains. Yi-Mo ignored it and devoured an immortal crystal to drastically improve his power. 8 minutes later, the sky above his head darkened. Black clouds formed, and the sky grew heavy. At this moment, these spirit beasts realized that the human cultivator was going to have divine damnation, and he dared to do it at the Magic Beast mountain range. They'd all had divine damnation before after reaching level 8, and knew that people were at their weakest when they had divine damnation. Usually cultivators or spirit beasts would have someone to protect them, but this human cultivator dared to have his divine damnation here. A sharp howl sounded, and 2 level 10 spirit beasts arrived. Seeing this, all the other spirit beasts moved aside, and the 2 level 10 spirit beasts saw the black clouds and were dazed. But soon, 1 level 10 horned dragon charged at Yi-Mo. Before he even reached Yi-Mo, 48 thick lightning arcs rained down. They were thick and black too. The level 10 spirit beast was dazed. What divine damnation was this? Even the spirit beast transformation divine damnation wasn't 1% as powerful as this. The instant the lightning arcs rained down, the level 10 spirit beast knew things weren't good and wanted to run, but he was already in Yi-Mo's divine damnation. It was considered something to be killed by the divine damnation. A small part of the lightning arcs flew towards the dragon. With this, horror filled the dragon's eyes. Rumble, rumble, Yi-Mo didn't even use a defense magic artifact. To him, divine damnation was a huge nutrition supplement. How could he waste it using a defense magic artifact? At the same time, Yi-Mo also shot out 10s of lightning swords. This was his old tactic to hit lightning with lightning. This seemed to anger the divine damnation, and thus more lightning arcs would rain down. This was probably the only cultivator ever to have divine damnation like this. Yi-Mo's lightning sword clashed with the divine damnation, making horrifying sounds. Black lightning dispersed everywhere, and those spirit beasts all retreated. A few thick lightning arcs landed on Yi-Mo's body and easily pulverized his low-grade cultivation artifact armor. Blood flew out, but Yi-Mo didn't care. He had a lot of armors. After Yi-Mo digested all these lightning arcs, he felt a feeling of satisfaction. His meridians were smoother and wider after being washed by the black lightning. Yi-Mo saw the dragon. It was like a punctured soccer ball, panting for life on the side. Yi-Mo sneered. "Just with your power you dare to stop my divine damnation? Don't embarrass yourself." Yi-Mo walked to the dragon and kicked it flying a few hundred meters away. The dragon's eyes showed embarrassment. He was a level 10 spirit beast and could talk. How could he not understand Yi-Mo's words? He just really didn't understand. How come? He almost died to 5 lightning arcs, but this human took more than 40 and was only lightly injured. Since when was there such an absurd human cultivator? Was he challenging the Magic Beast mountain range by having his divine damnation here? Yi-Mo didn't know what the beast thought, but he really wanted a level 10 beast core. He knew it would fetch a heavenly price if he sold it, but he felt that wasn't a wise move to do here. There were so many high-level spirit beasts here. If he dared to overtly collect beast cores, they would all hunt him. He still had Su Jingwen with him. Rumble 36 more lightning arcs rained down, but Yi Mo just used 18 lightning swords and split them up into 36. The lightning sword couldn't stop the power of the lightning bolts, but it could mitigate part of the power. Yi Mo rejoiced, and soon found that this way of devouring the divine damnation didn't waste anything nor injure him. Yi Mo rejoiced, and soon found that this way of devouring the divine damnation didn't waste anything nor injure him. The weakened lightning arcs were refined by Yi Mo, and he felt his meridians continuously strengthen, expand, and purify. When he completely refined the 36 bolts, Yi Mo felt his meridians were cracking as though realigning. His power also grew rapidly. Powerful cultivation essence and spirit sense filled his senses. Yi Mo knew that after the second wave of divine damnation, he had reached disaster transformation state power. The third wave rained down now, and it was also 36 bolts as well. Now Yi Mo didn't even use lightning sword. He just took the lightning arcs with his body. The lightning arcs crackled on Yi Mo's body, spewing lightning sparks everywhere. However, Yi Mo wasn't scared at all. The spirit beasts watching this were utterly astonished. They had never seen such an absurd divine damnation. This wasn't divine damnation. This was eating lightning arcs. After the third wave, Yi Mo had some wounds. His skin was charred, but Yi Mo felt this was much more beneficial to him than the lightning arcs he blocked with lightning sword. As the fourth wave ended, Yi Mo still didn't use his lightning sword despite the lightning arcs getting stronger and stronger. Thick and terrifying lightning arcs rained down nonstop. Yi Mo's flesh and bones were crippled, but they were repaired again and broken again. His power also kept rising. When the 172nd lightning arc rained on him and was devoured, the divine damnation clouds disappeared. Yi Mo breathed with satisfaction. He was disaster transformation state level 2 now. This divine damnation was much more comfortable than his body condensation state divine damnation. A purple spirit cloud floated above Yi Mo, and Yi Mo felt spirit chi that was more curative than immortal crystals. Moments later, his injuries disappeared, but this spirit chi cloud didn't dissipate. It started to wash his meridians. Yi Mo wasn't going to waste this opportunity. He used Free Birth Chant at full speed and reached disaster transformation state level 3 in a short while. Yi Mo used a few clear water spells and changed a set of clothes. He suddenly laughed. Those spirit beasts saw Yi Mo laugh hysterically, and all retreated. Suddenly, the other level 10 spirit beast howled and charged at Yi Mo. The space the spirit beast went past condensed. Yi Mo knew it was the spirit beast's domain. If he was in cauldron-filling state, Yi Mo would turn away immediately. But now Yi Mo threw out a few lightning swords without hesitation. The lightning arcs Yi Mo used now were as thick as grown men's arms. It was on par with his divine damnation. These few lightning arcs crashed through the spirit beast's domain like tofu. The space returned to as it was before. The spirit beast was surprised to see that Yi Mo wasn't affected by his domain at all, and instead broke it. Then he immediately saw Yi Mo's lightning arcs. Rumble the level 10 blue wind wolf spat out tens of wind blades. These wind blades swept the nearby space. However, Yi Mo's lightning arcs seemed to know the weak points of the wind blades and easily crippled them. The rest of the lightning arcs all landed on the blue wind wolf. The wolf howled and rolled around tens of times. When it got up again, it was charred and covered in wounds. It looked at Yi Mo in shock and terror. It probably never expected there would be a disaster transformation state cultivator this strong. He had just reached disaster transformation state and beat a level 10 spirit beast without any trouble. Yi Mo scanned the terrified level 7 and level 8 spirit beasts and suddenly raised his hand. Tens of thin lightning arcs spread out. They charred all these spirit beasts without a single exception, even though a few level 9 spirit beasts tried to dodge them. The space around them had already bound them. The spirit beasts, planning to divide Yi Mo up after his divine damnation, all rolled around on the ground. Seeing this, Yi Mo roared, "This is a warning. Next time if you appear and surround me, I will kill you all. Piss off." Hearing this, the spirit beasts got up and ran with their tail between their tails. Even the most heavily injured level 10 spirit beast ran and didn't dare to look back at Yi Mo. Seeing them run off, Yi Mo felt satisfied but also regretful. They were all materials and beast cores in his eyes. But his instinct told him that he couldn't slaughter spirit beasts here. There were so many high-level spirit herbs and spirit beasts here. There must be more powerful leaders here. Seeing this mess, Yi Mo knew it wasn't good to stay here. So he flashed away and disappeared. Less than 7 minutes later, a level 10 peak ice leopard appeared, but there was a square-faced, blue-haired man sitting on it. He didn't get off and just looked around and saw 2 level 8 spirit beast bodies and frowned before leaving. When Yi Mo got back to Su Jingwen, she was already very worried. Seeing Yi Mo, she got up in surprise and joy and asked, "You've become a disaster transformation state cultivator?" Yi Mo nodded. "Yes, I'm a disaster transformation state cultivator now. Should we go now?" Su Jingwen was happier than Yi Mo upon seeing him break through. Yi Mo smiled. "Jingwen, we'll be rich. You know what's inside the mountain range? There are spirit herbs everywhere, but those spirit beasts seem blind. They didn't touch them at all. If we sweep it clean, don't you think we'll be rich?" Hearing this, she was dazed and asked, "But this is the land of the spirit beasts. How can they let us collect spirit herbs?" Yi Mo smiled. "Don't worry, I dominated the spirit beasts with my lightning sword. When I increase my power a little more, then we can get rich. As long as we don't meet a truth realization state beast cultivator or level 11 spirit beast, we'll be fine. Even if we meet a truth realization state beast cultivator, I'm not afraid. We can run away, no problem. Okay." Su Jingwen also rejoiced. She was no longer the girl from Earth anymore. She knew what cultivation resources meant. In order to stay with Yi Mo forever, she also cared a lot about cultivation too. Plus, she felt very excited going crazy with Yi Mo, stealing spirit herbs from spirit beast territory. Seeing Su Jingwen's red face, Yi Mo whispered a few words in her ears. Su Jingwen's face turned even redder. Yi Mo laughed and went into the golden page world again. He had to reach disaster transformation state middle stage before he went back to the mountains. After a long while, Su Jingwen's face recovered. When Yi Mo first concocted a cauldron of disaster pill, the main spirit herb Chaoju was given to him by Bien Fen. They benefited Yi Mo greatly now. Yi Mo didn't expect to reach disaster transformation state in such a short time. After eating a disaster pill, Yi Mo activated the time formation disc again. He still had a third of an immortal crystal in his hands. Once he used that up, he would leave and take Su Jingwen away from here. The spirit chi of the extreme grade spirit range mixed with the spirit chi of the immortal crystals provided an endless power that cleansed Yi Mo's meridians. Meanwhile, the disaster pill provided more power for this flow. The spirit chi of the extreme grade spirit range mixed with the spirit chi of the immortal crystals provided an endless power that cleansed Yi Mo's meridians. Meanwhile, the disaster pill provided more power for this flow. A huge spirit chi whirlpool swirled above Yi Mo's head that was so dense it was about to liquefy. However, Yi Mo kept drawing the spirit chi away. Disaster Transformation State Level 3's barrier was overcome with the charge of such powerful spirit chi without pause. 2 months later, Yi Mo broke through to Disaster Transformation State Level 4. 4 months later, Yi Mo reached Disaster Transformation State Level 5. Just when he did, his immortal crystals cracked and turned into nothing. However, Yi Mo continued to eat Disaster Will Pill and sit on the extreme grade spirit range to devour spirit chi. 9 months later, he reached Disaster Transformation State Level 6. Yi Mo sighed and stopped. Just one more level, and he would be Disaster Transformation State Tertiary Stage. However, he didn't have any more immortal crystals. The difference in using immortal crystals and not using them for cultivation was huge. Before, he could break through a level in 2 months and just use 1 Disaster Will Pill, but later he ate 3 extra pills. Yi Mo looked outside and saw Su Jingwen was working hard in cultivation and was about to break through to Nascent Soul State Level 7. Yi Mo wanted to go out, but saw Su Jingwen was about to break through and stopped his urge to do so. Nascent Soul State Level 7 was Nascent Soul State Tertiary Stage. It was still very weak, but her power had improved a lot. He looked again at the time formation disk and saw there were still parts of the immortal crystals left. They should be able to last nearly a month. Yi Mo didn't continue cultivation. He wouldn't be able to break through to Disaster Transformation State Tertiary Stage in a short time. He took out that painting. Yi Mo felt this painting wasn't ordinary. He couldn't even scan his spirit sense into it. When he took the painting again, Shandi had a problem with it, but he didn't dare to ask for it. Tang Mengrao also wanted it, but she couldn't bring herself to ask. Yi Mo found there was 1 level from 1 corner of the painting. Yi Mo then took out a thin paper that said Basic 5-Element Magic. Yi Mo was dazed. 5-Element Magic was the simplest magic. It could be said to be the most basic magic in the cultivation realm. Fireball, Water Ball, Earth Mobility. He learned these during Qi Gathering State. Why would such simple magic be hidden in a painting? Yi Mo immediately felt things were wrong. These weren't basic magics. He saw the 5-element mobility later on. It was what the spirit body gave him. It was a heaven-grade cultivation method. So how was it basic magic? Yi Mo started looking again from the beginning. The extreme nature of metal destroys all. How can a weapon be used to measure its ferocity? The more Yi Mo looked, the more he was shook. This was no basic 5-element magic. This was extremely high-level 5-element magic. In water and earth element. Yi Mo didn't see any water ball magic or stone casting magic. There was just magic to move mountains and rivers. Yi Mo took a cold breath in. Compared to these 5-element magics, the magic he learnt before was child's play. Yi Mo focused his gaze on the fire element magics. His Mist Lotus Heartfire was in great competition. It was blue-colored, and he desperately needed a magic that could utilize the Mist Lotus Heartfire, the essence of fire, the ferocity of Yang. It does not fear autumn and dominates the frost. It does not fear the winter and dominates the snow, melting metal and all things, expunging the evil in the world. This art is called Heaven Flame 9 Suns. It was the use of fire element magic and flame. Yi Mo finished looking at it and realized this was a fire cultivation method called Heaven Flame 9 Suns. It was best for the cultivator of this to have a basic, rare flame. Heaven Flame was the best. If not, one could use their own cultivation fire. At the highest level of use, the Heaven Flame 9 Suns could allow one's own flame to turn into 9 suns to attack the opponent. Usually, entry-level cultivation was cultivating a sliver of faint sun. After you cultivated a red sun, only then would that be level initial completion. If the Heaven Flame's level was blue, then the first sun would be blue color. It would melt everything. Using the Heaven Flame now wasn't like Yi Mo used it before, spraying it chaotically. against a weak opponent, one could easily win. But if it was against a master, then this would just be a waste of spirit sense and cultivation essence. Heaven Flame 9 Suns was very well described, and with Yemo's great learning ability, in just a month, he was near initial completion for level 1. The first sun was faint blue color. Yemo really wanted to find an opponent to test his Heaven Flame 9 Suns on, but he knew he couldn't now. The immortal crystals on the time formation disc were completely used up. Yemo also saw Su Jingwen just reach nascent soul state level 7, so he dashed out of the Golden Page world. In the mountains behind the desert, there was one man and woman joyfully collecting spirit herbs everywhere. These two were Yemo and Su Jingwen. After Yemo reached disaster transformation state level 6, his Heaven Flame 9 Suns, level 1, was also near initial completion. At this moment, he didn't have any concerns coming back to this place filled with spirit beasts. The more the two went in, the higher level the spirit herbs. Su Jingwen was very excited, and even forgot this place was the place with a stack of high-level spirit beasts. Soon, some spirit beasts started coming over. At the beginning, they were level 7 spirit beast, but they realized Yemo didn't seem easy to mess with, so level 8 and level 9 spirit beasts came. Eventually, there were even a few level 10 spirit beasts. The growls woke Su Jingwen up and made her realize that they weren't at home. The reason they didn't charge up because one of the level 10 spirit beast Blue, Wind Wolf, and some level 9 and level 8 spirit beast that had suffered at Yemo's hands. Those spirit beasts who didn't know Yemo's power charged up and were smashed down by Yemo's lightning. Even a level 10 spirit beast was charred and couldn't crawl up for a long while. They grew smart this time. They didn't come up together, but closely followed Yemo and them. In no time, 100 more spirit beasts arrived. Yemo frowned. He wanted to send away these spirit beasts. There were so many spirit herbs here. He didn't want to give them up like that. But before Yemo did anything, the spirit beasts, under the lead of a few level 10 spirit beasts, charged down. This time, Yemo didn't hold back, and lightning rained over them. The entire valley was filled with the roar of thunder. Countless low-level spirit beasts died to lightning sword. Those few level 10 spirit beasts were smashed into deep pits, and more low-level spirit beasts ran around frantically. This was Yemo holding back. If he didn't, they would all be dead. Soon, this place was a mess. Hundreds of low-level spirit beast bodies lay here. The remaining spirit beast didn't dare to come up anymore. Still, they didn't want to give up on the two, and they followed everywhere the two went. Seeing this, Yemo was very annoyed. He threw out some lightning swords on the nearby rocks and said coldly, "I know you guys understand me. If you still stay behind me, I will kill you all." Hearing this, the spirit beasts immediately ran off. In the depths of the mountain ranges, there was a huge peak hidden by a formation. From the bottom to the top, there were rows of extremely luxurious cultivation homes. At the very top, there was a grandiose blue palace. In the depths of the mountain ranges, there was a huge peak hidden by a formation. From the bottom to the top, there were rows of extremely luxurious cultivation homes. At the very top, there was a grandiose blue palace. Inside the palace, a square-faced blue-haired man frowned as he listened to a beast cultivator reporting to him. He sat on the right chair of the top 3 chairs. The middle and left chair were empty. According to his position, he was ranked 3rd in this palace. Behind him were 2 beast cultivators, 1 seductive woman, and 1 with a long beard. Hearing the report, the blue-haired man said, "You're saying level 10 spirit beasts can't even last 1 move in front of him?" "Yes, but he seems to have controlled his attack and didn't kill everyone. But in the end, he seemed to have gotten angry and thus killed tens of low-level beast cultivators. However, He did say that if anyone dares to follow him or stop him from finding spirit herbs, then he wouldn't be so easy, the beast cultivator said. The man nodded and knocked on the chair handle. After a while, he suddenly asked, Mei Nyang, Su Feng, what do you two think? Third God Lord. The woman called and said in a sweet voice, that man can defeat level 10 spirit beasts in one move. Clearly he's a truth realization state cultivator, and he just had his divine damnation. He's truth realization state, primary stage power. This means his power would be only a little bit weaker than Third God Lord. This man's face didn't seem so natural as he knew that this woman exaggerated. He didn't have the ability to defeat level 10 spirit beasts in one move. The woman continued, plus he didn't slaughter, nor take beast cores. He knows his position, he's giving us face. Plus, he loves the low-level spirit herb. Clearly he hasn't seen much of the world. Since Big God Lord and Second God Lord aren't here, I think the blue-haired man frowned. What's there to hesitate about? Tell me, you spoke very well just then. Hearing this, the woman quickly said, Yes, Third God Lord, I think we might as well let him do what he wants. He came from outside. He will just collect some spirit herbs and leave. If we coerce him and he joins the riverside to attack us, it wouldn't be good. The blue-haired man nodded and looked at the long beard. Su Feng, what's your opinion? The man nodded. I agree with Mei Nyang. Big and Second God Lord aren't here. We should be careful. Plus, they're just collecting some irrelevant low-level spirit herbs. It's far from our area of restriction. I don't think we need to care too much. Plus, recently there have been quite a few human cultivators here. I wonder if they're together. The blue-haired man waved his hand. We'll do that. Who cares if they're together or not? As long as they don't touch our area of restriction, we don't have to mess with them. We can decide things when Big and Second Brother are back. Yes, Third God Lord, the reporter beast cultivator said, respectfully, and left. What is this place? I can even see level 8 spirit herbs. Su Jingwen was more shocked. Nodded. I also want to know where this is, but there still isn't a beast cultivator here now. This probably isn't some important place. Wait, I'll call a spirit beast over to ask. Spirit sense suddenly saw a rainbow rise into the sky with a huge cultivation essence wave. Saw that rainbow rope and knew it was Tang Mengrao's magic artifact. She was about 10 kilometers from them. Didn't expect her to be still alive. Seeing not move, Su Jingwen asked, what are you looking at? Smiled. I didn't expect sect leader to be still alive. She's in a valley 10 kilometers from here. She's fighting. I suspect she's been trapped by spirit beasts. Should we go help? Do you need to ask? Let's hurry up and go, Su Jingwen quickly said. Nodded. Okay, let's go see. Su Jingwen knew what meant and smiled. Are you still angry about Ao Chendai? You were probably just an insect in sect leader Tang's eyes before. So what if you died? Then why do you still want me to help? Looked at her in confusion. Su Jingwen held his arms and said, There are 2 reasons I want you to help. First, when the beast tide came, if it wasn't for her, Pei Hai City would have fallen, and you wouldn't have been able to see me and Yangzhu. Second, at the palace, sect leader Tang told us to leave with her. We should help her. People aren't gods. How can they not make mistakes? Plus, one was her beloved disciple. The other was a stranger. Wiped her face. You're really kind-hearted, but you're right. After we go out, I will make up to you. The thing I told you about before. Humph. Su Jingwen's blushed and didn't dare to say anything. At this moment, Tang Mengrao's face was full of fatigue. She was covered in injuries. Next to her was her disciple, Zhou Yushuang, and her master. There was also another man and woman. They were also covered in injuries and took turns to defend against the spirit beast attacks. The 6 were relying on a level 8 defense formation, and this formation clearly wasn't set up by Tang Meng Rao and them. A young woman was repairing the formation. The other 5 protected her and fended off the spirit beasts. Her formation skills were quite decent. When Su Jingwen walked over with Yemo, the woman and Tang Meng Rao first saw them. Tang Meng Rao immediately yelled, "Yemo, come here quickly." But Tang Meng Rao stopped. Yemo came over indeed, but he wasn't running. Instead, he came over slowly. What shook them more was when the spirit beast saw Yemo and Su Jing when they all moved away. No one dared to attack them, even the leading level 10 spirit beasts. What was this? The spirit beast stopped the attacks on the formation as though waiting for them to pass before attacking again. Yi Mo and Su Jingwen didn't go in. He called from outside. "Sect leader Tang, come out. Let's collect some spirit herbs, and we can go." What? Tang Meng Rao thought she heard wrong. How could she not know there was a lot of spirit herbs here? A few days ago, she wanted to pass these mountains with Yuchan, but she didn't go very far and was stopped by spirit beasts. If she didn't see these 2 siblings relying on the defense formation, she would have died. As for Zhou Yushuang and her master, they also came here before her, or they would be dead too. Yi Mo looked at the fearful spirit beasts and yelled, "Did you forget what I said before? These people are my friends. What are you staying here for? Piss off." The next thing that happened made them unable to close their mouths. These spirit beasts, although not willing, still left. "Yi Mo, what's going on?" Tang Meng Rao had so many questions, and she suddenly realized she couldn't see Yemo's power level. Yi Mo intentionally hid his power level. He didn't want the high-level spirit beasts here to see his power level. He smiled. "Sect leader Tang, recover first and change a set of clothes, then we'll talk." Tang Meng Rao looked at her injuries and nodded. Zhou Yushuang and her master also thanked Yi Mo before going to the side to recover. But the young man walked up to Yi Mo and studied him before saying, "You're the young god Lord Master? You're tuning in to the Mystic Fist YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories."